Are we live? Yes, we are. Hello and welcome to the regular Friday edition of Spurs Diehards TTID, Tottenham Till I Die. Tonight we'll do a preview of Man City versus Spurs. We'll talk about the dreaded transfer window and the rumours in the transfer window, and there's some other Spurs news. So without further ado, I shall welcome our guests. We may have one or two more popping on, depends, it's Friday, and we'll see how we go. So, Alan from America, how are you?
Doing well. Happy Friday to you both.
How's the temperature out there? Because we're freezing to death in the UK.
Oh, it is 18, I believe.
18.
Is that's centigrade?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's like 50. Yeah, that's a lot warmer than here. A lot warmer.
Yeah.
So, Mark, how are you?
Freezing. No, well, it's, we've had a bit of snow, but having said that, it's going to warm up tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Welcome those in the chat, Mark. Have we,
Yeah. There's a few in here. Spud's in. Good evening.
A regular friend of the show, Spud. How are you?
Yes. Yeah, Matty Kushner, big up, sir.
Big up, Matty.
Yes, Eugene as well. Yes, big up, sir.
Up, Eugene.
Yes, Graham's here.
Graham, big up, Graham. Good to have you guys with us.
Yeah, that's about it. What is it? Yeah, no, it's just people saying hello to each other.
Okay, then right, we'll start. Alan, you no doubt you've heard that Spurs have appealed the Bentancur ban. Did you think the 7-match ban was a bit severe yourself, or?
Whilst I don't agree with what was said at the time, I think I kind of am of the opinion that I like to handle these things internally. I don't know that a ban. I'm just not a big fan of a ban like that. It seems very harsh to me. Again, having nothing to do with what was said, I don't like what was said. I think it was bad, and I think we all know what he was kind of insinuating. And it was one of those moments that's probably, if he'll look back, was probably one of his lower moments. But I'm just not a big fan of bans. Fine him. I think fining him really is something that will be attributed just to him. But I think a ban affects the whole team. And whilst I want it to see him learn from what happened, more than just to be punished. I want him to learn so that he can kind of educate other people. Let's say if we say that South Americans have a bit of a different opinion about things, and maybe he can spread that new knowledge to the rest of them out there, at least maybe for Team Uruguay, and be sort of like a proponent of more tolerance and whatnot, and not saying stuff like that, but handling it internally. Seven games. Bentancur is in my opinion, a fairly integral part of the squad, and 7 games affects not just him; it really affects the whole team. And in a team sport, it just seems very harsh to me personally.
In this country, and I know obviously in sections of America, we live in politically sensitive times, right? What you can say,
very much so.
Everyone's virtually got to be word perfect and have a degree in the English language without falling foul of the political correct police or the woke establishment or whatever there is. I mean, this is to come now. This is dragged on. I mean, do you think it's been a political push to get this sentence and like our FA were pushed? Because I'm pretty sure they thought, oh no, why do we have to deal with this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I'm surprised we haven't heard more from the Man City stuff. It just seems like it takes focus from bigger things. They didn't have to talk about it. They really didn't have to publicize it. Again, I'm sort of not a proponent. I don't know how a ban teaches him anything other than to be upset that he let the team down. But I think hitting him in the pocketbook, always hitting, if he had to pay a big fine, to me that seems more problematic for him than a 7-game ban. A 7-game ban hurts the whole team. And now we're without him for Man City and Liverpool and a lot of other games that we could really use him in for something he said. And without having to agree or disagree, I disagree with it vehemently. But it's here in America, saying, if you're going to get banned for saying something, it's a little scary to me personally.
Mark, the FA have certainly dragged their feet over this, haven't they? I mean, like we've all seen the text of what was said, right? The player either appeals or agrees to it. I mean, why these football associations, they drag their feet, don't they?
Well, yeah, they do, but in all fairness, now I heard this put brilliantly on another podcast that I watched, and it's like he's brought his WhatsApp chat and said it in an interview. You know what I mean? If this was said in the Tottenham WhatsApp group, and they'd have a bit of a spat over it, Sonny had said, look, you can't say things like that, rah, 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 rah. It could have been dealt with internally, but the fact of the matter is, he said it in the public domain. That's the thing. That's the thing, that he said it in the public domain. All right, was it a Uruguayan paper interview or something like that? But
yeah, in Uruguay.
To be honest, I mean, because we've all seen things that go on that are said in like WhatsApp chats and that, and like, put it this way, some of the things not racist stuff, mind, let's not go there, but like some of the things I've seen in WhatsApp chats, I wouldn't dare say any of that on like live on YouTube. You know what I mean? So he was stupid that he said it in the public domain. If it had been said in the Tottenham WhatsApp group, none of us would know about it because it would have been dealt with internally. But the thing is, you can't say things like that if it's in the public domain. You can, and that's the bottom line, really. You just can't say it in the public domain. Whether he needs, but surely a Premiership footballer gets told by the club, look, this is the things you can say. You do not say any of this. You do not say any of that. I can't get me. I just think it's stupidness that he said it. Especially unless the journalist that was interviewing him was like a mate, and he didn't think he was writing it down or recording it or whatever. Because let's face it, if you're having a drink with your mate in a pub, we all say things that that's between like your mates and that, innit? We all say it.
Locker room chat you're talking about.
But I agree with you. I think before he would have ever signed the dotted line for a contract, the club would have, because it reflects badly on the club. He's an employee of Tottenham Hotspur, and just like in any organization, and if an employee goes out and says something that reflects poorly on the organization generally will come down hard on that employee. But and you'd think that they would have trained him. We all like in corporate world, we have to go through all kinds of trainings and whatnot. You'd think that Tottenham would offer some kind of trainings, considering it's an international sport, so he's playing with people from all over the world. He sees more people from all over the world than I do, but I still have to do sensitivity training. He should be definitely doing sensitivity training.
Of course, right.
The whole club.
And I can tell you a story now. Like, I used to work with somebody, and we finished work one day. He went straight to the pub, still had his work gear on, company name on the shirt. He went to a pub, had a few too many, got on a scrap and smashed the pub up. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, the police were called, like, whatever, went on. He got into work the next day, he was sacked. Because even though he's not in work, he was bringing the company in disrepute just by having a fight in his workshop. You know? I mean, it's the same sort of thing, I mean, it's stupid what he said, but to be honest, in my opinion, he should have known better. And if it's in the top, because it's obvious that the player's got a WhatsApp group. If he'd have said it in there, none of us be any the wiser. Right, it's still wrong wherever you say it, but the fact of the matter is, he said it in the public domain.
Yeah, I think we're on clearness with the player. I mean, I don't know the player personally, but just from the text and the way it was more of a flippant remark. All right, it was a racist remark, but it wasn't a hateful remark. It wasn't. No. It wasn't a hate crime remark. But Alan, on Spurs appealing, I mean, you'd think if you listen to the media or go to all the streams I go to, and most of them are just BS anyway, they're low-tier media outlets, right? But you sort of go along, you click on some stuff, because sometimes they do get a few facts right, And they always like stuff to post. So Spurs appeal. Now, according to some of the media, you think, well, the best they could do is get one match knocked off and get it down to 6. I don't think there'd be any point unless Spurs have found something here or their legal team have found something. Because I think if you're going to appeal, you want to get it down to 3 matches or 4 max, What's your take on this appeal? Why would they appeal? If surely not for 1 match.
I think because it does reflect poorly on the squad that he's got this 7-game ban, because it makes them look like there's a gaping hole in their HR department. And I'm wondering if they are doing the appeal simply for damage control, because I'd like to think that the squad handled this internally. He hasn't done a lot of interviews, as far as I can tell, since then, and I'm wondering if maybe they've kind of, got him around the throat and was like, look, you do this again, you're out. I would hope that they have that kind of conversation with him. And maybe he has done things subsequent to the incident that would maybe redeem him in the eyes of people and the club especially, and perhaps they see something that we don't, and they feel like, well, he's trying to make up for the thing that he did wrong, and so they're going to appeal it. Even 1 game, I don't know which game that would be. Even 1 game seems consequential to me.
It's the Liverpool game. It's the Liverpool game. If he gets a game knocked off, it'll be the Liverpool game,
which would be a humongous game for him to be in. So I think even so, just 1 game off, 6 to 7. I don't see why they would have to stick with that number 7 unless it's lucky for somebody. Why they would need to stick with that and could go with 6. It still sends the same message, but I feel like there have been other incidents in these footballers' lives that go public and they never get punished. No. And I'm wondering if 7 games is sort of like they're trying to set a precedent here, the FA, as to say, we're not going to tolerate it. Anything that even smells of racism, otherwise you could get like a 7-game ban. And which is fine if that's what they're trying to do. I at least can understand that. I just want them to make sure that they're applying that to everybody that comes afoul of, the public's opinion, with their antics, because these guys they're no saints. They're just highly compensated employees, but they're definitely not saints.
I mean, what angers fans, especially over this, is not the fact that we don't know he's done something wrong and that he should be punished. He should. It's the fact there are other incidents. Enzo Fernandez, who was tried because it was a FIFA jurisdiction rather than the FA. Our FA's jurisdiction in Uruguay. That might be one reason why Spurs are taking a ban. They might not. They might think they have jurisdiction because it's between tournaments, but they may not have. I mean, I don't know the legalities, right? So, but what disappoints me is you're never going to change attitudes in Uruguay by punishing the player who's playing over in the Premier League. The people out there that like their sports or their football, they're just going to shrug their shoulders and But if it was the Uruguay FA were forced by FIFA to take action, then you send a message to the country. Well, this is going to have no beneficial effect on, the war against racism or the fight against racism, at all. None, in my opinion. Right that the player is punished. And I think that somehow, when these representatives of these different FAs, if they ever meet with UEFA and FIFA, they need to find a common ground for this. Whereas, okay, players that are away, no matter who or where they're with, right, FIFA should be able to turn around to Uruguay, in my opinion, and say, well, if you don't sanction the player, we will sanction you.
Absolutely. Something like that seems good.
Then the message would get across. All right. Well, we don't know the legal technicalities involved yet. It may be that Spurs have a strong case and they throw it back to the panel or the arbitration or the FA and whatever. And the FA or that panel then, if they think they're proven legally wrong somewhere, they might back down and say a 3 or 4 game ban rather than forced to remove the ban at all, which would be really bad on them. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I just don't get why the club. I mean, I'd accepted it then. I'd accepted the 7. I think a lot of fans had accepted the 7-match ban. Didn't like it because it seems like double standards with what else has gone on elsewhere with the Argentine squad. Even the Uruguayan squad had a punch up in the Copa America, didn't they, as well?
Yeah. Yep.
And all that. So,
No. From what I've heard, Adrian, there's different tiers to it. It's like 1 to 6, or 1 to 5, and then 6 to. And so they're not going to knock it down to like 3 or 4 because they've decided it's like a tier 2 offence or so, and the minimum you can get is 6 games. But the maximum was like 12. And so it's certainly not going to go down to 3 or 4. Because
I question the legality of 2 tiers. If you go to a lower court, you get a fine and say a maximum sentence they give you, say 6 months, 9 months, or a year. And you go to a crown court in England, you can get thousands of pounds in fine and get life imprisonment. There's a difference. Now, those are set standards and they're totally separate. But here, to have a table where a 1 to 6 offence and then a 6 to 12 offence, to me it should be a 1 to 12 offence. That's it, and you're tried on anything in between them 1 to 12 that people think you might have transgressed.
Yeah.
Are you
going to take this comment? This comment here, if we lose, it could be extended. You never know, do you?
No, they won't. They won't do
this.
Because it looks severe anyway.
Do you know that officially?
It looks severe and looks like it's been. I think the panel have done this. You never know the makeup of the panel. I'm not saying they're corrupt or nothing like that, but because of the political sensitivities around here in this league and with Kick It Out and all that, trying to do all the work they do, the good work they do and all that. I think, and players taking the knee in that. I think this was why he got the 7. I do really believe that.
Yeah.
Whereas I was hoping for a 4. I was being as I'm a biased Spurs fan, want to defend the players, which is natural.
Right.
I thought he'd get a warning to about 3-match ban. I thought that would be it. So,
well, I thought when we first got the 7-match ban, I thought it was for him throwing the water bottles into the crowd when they had the bust up, because that seemed more consequential than whatever words he said to require a 7-game ban. It makes me nervous if what he said gave him a 7-game ban. What happens when he has, assault and potential battery added to it, with throwing water bottles? If it hits someone it wasn't supposed to hit, or even it doesn't matter who was supposed to hit, that's still assault and battery,
Well, one of them was glass, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of them was glass. So
yeah, one of them was a glass bowl.
Yeah. So he's still got that coming.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I forget who mentioned get the chat up. Said they're trying to get it reduced to 6.
Yeah.
We've all heard this, but
no.
We've all heard.
There we go.
And Spud, we've all heard this, but I just don't see the point of appealing to get to one game, unless if your legal team think, the correct procedures haven't been followed here, and you get off on a technicality or whatever, or get it reduced because they found something, or they can prove that it is beyond the FA's jurisdiction.
But then again, what about this? If we lose, it could be extended.
Well, as it's 7 anyway, no, because
because the maximum is like 12.
Yeah, I know, Mark, but if it's a case of like it's a frivolous appeal, right? Then in any other things, when there's been a frivolous appeal, rarely do you get things that are extended. But it has happened in the past. But usually when like someone's really tried it on, and then it's happened. But I don't see this 7 being extended. If they say no, sorry, that's it, and there is no further appeal, or in the rules there is no further appeal, then the only way you test that is in the courts. By then, he would have served his 7-match ban. So then what are you going to do? Sue him for wages or something? So
that's why I hope that he's showing attrition, for what he did. It would be I think it would help not just him, but the club's image if he were to come out and be more mindful and come out against the things that he said, and to me, I'm always willing to forgive as long as people are showing that they should be forgiven. I think that would be much bigger than any ban would teach him.
Yeah. Come out.
He's made a load of apologies to the squad, to the player. Him and Sonny have hugged on that. I think
Well,
they're well over it before he even got the punishment. So
yeah.
Well, we don't see that though, do we? I mean, to be honest, if he'd come out, do it on Sky, and not just some heavily scripted script that he's been given. Just come out, a heartfelt apology.
The cynics might argue this is all contrived and all this. Like,
well,
you're not going to win.
Well, it might be
winning PR because they're crap at it, right? Let's be fair.
Yeah, but if you actually come out and did an interview and said, look, hold his hands up and say, look, I fucked up, basically. So that's all he's got to say. Look, I screwed up. I'm sorry. It was a comment taken completely out of context. I didn't mean nothing by it. Blah blah blah, and then But it's the fact that you don't hear anything from the player.
Well, you're gonna have to wait and see how this plays out, right? So we'll move on a little bit. Alan, what was your take on the change in the Spurs logo? Was you fussed about it?
I was. The only thing again here, people see the ball and the cockerel, and they don't really know what that is because it's not an American team, so it's not easily identifiable to them. But it did help when it said Tottenham Hotspur. People would ask, well, what's Tottenham Hotspur? And I go, oh, well, that's the football club that I, in England that I support. Now they're like, what's with the rooster? And they don't know what it is. but other than that, it just seemed like it was a puff piece that really meant nothing. I question the timing. I don't. Not that I think that there was ever a right time to reveal what they revealed. It just doesn't really feel newsworthy. If they went back, I know that they're going back to the THFC, that old script kind of, but I personally, if they were going to change the logo, I would have rather have seen an old logo. Because I've looked at the old logos and some of them are really cool. And I think that that's very popular to do for a club that's revitalizing itself and trying to, reach new markets. To show the history of the squad, I think it honors the history. With this new, it looks the same. I mean, the new cockerel without the Tottenham Hotspur, it basically looks the same to me.
Yeah. Well, Mark, we have an estimated 34 million Spurs fans worldwide. We know that when the NFL was being played at Spurs, we know that in NFL games, I mean, I've been to one. It's not really my cup of tea. NFL it's a bit too slow for me. I prefer rugby. It's got a bit picked out of the two. But we know that when they have NFL games in America and all that over here, they announce the name of the stadium and the sponsor and all that. And when Todd Kime was brought in, he's now with Chelsea, commercial manager there. He was brought in with us to do all the commercial deals, all the sponsorship deals, and get a naming rights deal for the stadium, which
he did well there, didn't he?
Which we have yet to get. And the reason behind the delay, the reason behind the delay that was coming out word out of the club was the fact that because the NFL games were being played at Spurs, people were getting to know geographically, like where the stadium is, because they were saying the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, this game here. So there was enough recognition for the club.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
And the American TV be showing them games around the planet, wherever people watch American football, like so, which would be all over the world, right? You'll have that. I mean, apart from our fans, I mean, I wouldn't want it. I get the little curvy bit underneath the cockerel, which has only been there with Tottenham Hotspur, I think something like in 21. We first had the cockerel in 1882. It was a H because we were Hotspur Football Club, right? Then after the cricket club. Then in 1884 we changed it to a spur, a single spur that a rider wears on his boots, because we changed to Tottenham Hotspur's Football Club because there was another club called Hotspur Football Club in a different league, right? It's only 1921 in the cup final when we beat Wolves 1-0 at Stamford Bridge with a second half Jimmy Dimmock goal that they had a cockerel on the shirts. And I think with this, it's the last 21 years out of the 100-odd years in their history. I've got to be honest, I'm not even the slightest bit fussed by this, to be honest with you. I've got so much top gear. I've got pajama bottoms, shorts, everything. I've got Fred Perry's hoodies, like so many sweatshirts. A lot of them are the same because I just like the casual gear. And it's just got the cockerel in it. I wouldn't want Tottenham Hotspur underneath there. There is a big cockerel on the side of the stadium. I think if you go to the stadium and don't know why that cockerel's there, you need to just give it a bit of thought, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
Am I allowed my opinion?
Yeah, I was coming to you, Mark.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, no. I'm just going to say it's another example of Daniel Levy trying to dispose of our history, taking the Tottenham Hotspur, because it's like Alan said, in America, like that top you got on there, Alan. Like, do people even realise? It's got Spurs written on it, but
they think it's San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I was just about to say that they probably think it's San Antonio. So if it never had Spurs written on it, and you would walk down the street with the cockerel that you got there, would people know that's? But if it had Tottenham Hotspur written under it, people would be like, never heard of him. I've never heard of him. Who are they? But like now, if they see you in that, like it's the same old thing.
Yeah.
The whole stadium now is an entertainment. It's an entertainment venue that 19 games of football are played there, at least.
The Antonio Spurs have got a spur as part of their logo anyway, so they would know in America.
No, but like it's like I said. I think it's honestly disgraceful, right? And
I mean, to me, more to do with the image of the club and its history. I mean, I see it in a lot of. This is mainly younger fans who probably don't know a lot of the Spurs history, right?
Where's the Bill Nick Gates?
They'll turn around in recent history. They say, "Oh, there should be a statue to Harry Kane. There should be one to Bill Nicholson." I get that, right? But the only issue I have with that, I'm all for that. Don't get me wrong. But do we want? I mean, we'll end up with a terracotta army of statues if we honoured every legend in this football club. Because I know going back to 1882, and I've always said, yes, you could have a few, right? But I think it's far better through different eras if you had murals around the stadium with teams of certain eras that were successful. Mm-hmm. I mean relief murals. I don't just mean paintings. I mean ones out of stone, really good. You know, like the old Greek statue styles. You know what I mean, or whatever history. Like ones. I mean, real quality, probably very expensive type murals, like reliefs. You know, and I think I'd go more for that. We know the museum has yet to be opened above the Spurs shop.
It's not going to be
more than one museum. I don't know around other parts of the stadium, but murals, I think, would cover a lot of the players and legends. You can't have 30 statues around the stadium. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm not being funny, Adrian. I'm not being funny, Adrian, right? Our glorious leader, Daniel, does not want this because he don't want the NFL turning up and it's like, who the hell's this in the middle of the road? Oh, it's a statue of Jimmy Greaves. Well, who the hell's he? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The soul and life of our beloved football club is slowly being sucked out of
it. With murals, right? With murals around the stadium. I've been there to one NFL game. I think it was the Jaguars playing. I forget what they're playing. And when they do that, they deck the stadium out in NFL logos, sponsors.
Yeah, I know they do.
Right, hold on. Even the food, it's hot dogs and stuff like that. They do all that, right? They do bump the prices up as well. I'll tell you, they're about a third dearer, right?
Well, of course they do.
It's like here.
If you had murals around the stadium, you could put NFL murals over the top of them when you've got a game plan. So you could still do what Mark worries about, what Mark's concerned about, and you'd still have your murals there because you've got an NFL game there, right?
This is another thing, Adrian. Now, we got all navy blue seats, right, at the stadium. Why is there no, like in the South Stand, a big, like, or THFC or Tottenham or a big cockerel in the South Stand in the seats? None of it. Because
I want to see a lot more flags. I think the flags in the South Stand are pathetic for home games, right?
But
when you look
to be honest,
and Dortmund, they're the ones you should follow.
To be honest, Adrian, like when they do have the NFL or they have the boxing or the rugby or whatever else goes on at that stadium, there seems to be a million and one things that go on there, right? If they don't announce it, this is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you wouldn't know where the hell you were. It's like I said, the chairman of this club is destroying the history. He's trying to get people to forget about it because he's got none himself. Right, let's face it, we've won one League Cup in 24 years since he's been here. And so all the success in the past doesn't matter, right? The heroes from the past do not matter, right? He's just trying to eradicate all of it.
Well, the museum.
Exactly.
Some fans' fears, and once that's up and running. But a lot more thought needs to go into this.
Where's the Bill Nick Gates?
Of like I mean, look, I'm no Levy fan, right? And I'd love new owners. A totally different subject because there is a lack of empathy with the fan base, which needs a cultural change. Whether that happens or not, who knows? But having said that, when you talk about honouring legends, you need to know the club have not been transparent on how they're going to do this museum, what's going in it, and whatever. And we need to know. I mean, you've got Buster Bill Nicholson around there in the West End. You've got all the copies of the trophies we've won, right? There's copies of them. They're all there in cases and stuff like that. If you've never been there, right? The stadium was built out of old concrete from the old ground. They did use bricks from the old ground for the bar and stuff like that. They've tried to incorporate what they can from the old stadium, even though probably a lot of fans probably don't know that anyway, right? You know, there'll be some that don't know that. Well, they've tried to do that. I'm not defending them on this. I want to see murals. Has always been my way of going forward.
Where's the Bill Nick Gates?
Where's the museum opens? And they haven't mentioned going back to 1901, John Cameron, and they ain't mentioned two of our famous managers that were actually pioneers of total football of the 70s that the Dutch played, which is, I hope to do a historical perspective on one show like that. that Vic Buckingham and Peter McVilliam, they were like, people won't have heard of those two names, but they're so important to our history and to European football's history because of the effect they had on European football, prior to the 70s and a Dutch team that played total football.
Adrian, where's the Bill Nick Gates for a start? That stadium has been open 5 years now, and we were told that they were meant to be put up years ago. Where are they?
Well, I don't know.
Where are they?
They've obviously got them in storage. They've obviously got the gates to White Hart Lane. They were the gates to the ground.
Yeah, of course they were. They were the gates that used to be outside they were the gates that were outside the West Stand.
Storage. The rumour is they're going to go up when the hotel goes up and park.
Well, exactly.
I mean,
after the hotel, because the hotel's far more important. Let's get this straight.
I don't know what the club intends to do regarding the legacy.
It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace.
Well, that's not strictly true because we know sooner or later the museum will open, and sooner or later they'll open that bar that's hanging from the Paxton Road end. The Sky Bar. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh yeah. Is that still not open?
No, I assume that's part of the naming rights deal. I mean, if you're going to pay 25 million a year, so there's 20 games a season, cup games. Say you get 2 home games. If plays, say you end up playing cup games, you end up 25 at home, right? So whoever gets the name, they're paying £1 million a game. £1 million a game. I think you'd want that bar as your own as well. I think that'll be a part of the package. Oh, I could be totally wrong. I could be wrong, but I think it will be. And I think that's the only reason it's not open. Because if it was a way of making money, Mark Levy would have that bar open. I'm telling you, we know that, don't we? We know that.
Well, yeah.
Listen, I'm in total agreement with the legacy for us fans, especially fans my age. You go back.
Well, there is none. There is none.
Yeah.
Well, kind of to that point. What I will say, what I would say about Levy is, in 24 years, he has found a way to turn a profit and stay in the black in spite of lack of success. So his recipe to make money isn't dependent on the success of the men's first team.
No.
So
no,
that's what I learned very quickly about Daniel Levy was, hey, the team hasn't had success, but they're doing really well financially. That's interesting. So he's been kind of forced to, find an alternate path to financial success for the club, and I think unfortunately that's at the expense of our men's first team.
Yeah, well, on that, I mean, correct, because if you take 6 million a home game and you've got like 18 home games, you're talking about raking in 110 to 120 million pound, right?
Yeah.
That, on receipts, right? When the stadium's leased, and you want it to bring in money, because that all has to go into the club anyway, because it's part of the same financial pool. It's part of the stadium is called Tottenham Hotspur Limited. The two main companies that own the club are the old original company going back years when I first was taken on parent shoulders to games, right? Tottenham Hotspur Football Athletico Company Limited. That company is still in abeyance. That company, right, holds the players' registrations and takes in I think it's the TV revenue. And actually, now Tottenham Hotspur Limited Stadium takes in that, but we get more money, as you said. We get 120 million for football. But when you look, we got 282 million for sponsorship deals last year. 280 million. And then you got the rest of the money, which will be through advertising, Sky money, stuff like that. So although the team does generate the majority of the money, because if it wasn't for the team, you wouldn't get the advertising money, you wouldn't get the sponsorship money, because there's more football played than there are individual concerts and all that. And I like those concerts that they have there and all that, and I want as many as I can because it's good for the local businesses in the area, right? Tottenham's not a rich area, right? So it's good for all them businesses. Now you're getting 30,000 more fans there each game day than you did at the old stadium. So it's been a boom for the local businesses who suffered while the stadium was being built when we were at Wembley. I'm not against that because on the financial report, all the money from them, what's generated by the Tottenham Hotspur Limited, who own the stadium, the company owns the stadium, has to go into that. Has to go inside. Otherwise, it would be free. Right? So it does.
Look, Adrian,
I'm
at the end,
stadium empty, no football. I'm all for having any sort of event there that brings in money and supports the local area. You know.
right now, going back to what Alan just said about Daniel makes money without necessarily winning anything.
Yep.
Going back to when he first rocked up here, his first statement he ever made is, "I'm here to make money." I want to take us to the top. They're in it for the money.
But it's closing the name. English National Investment Company.
Exactly. That was the first statement he made when he took over, or Enoch took over. I'm here to make money, right? And now he has taken, I think they bought it for something like 28 million. That's how much they bought Tottenham for. He's grown that to Lord knows whatever he wants for it now. 3 billion, 4 billion. You know, I mean, and if you look, right, so many times we've been knocking on that door, especially Pochettino time. We were knocking on that door, and and all that's important to our glorious leader, right, is the top four. If he can get that Champions League money rolling in season after season, so he can charge Adrian an extra 70, 80 quid to go to the games instead of 30, whatever it is now, to go to Europa games, he's happy. Because you're guaranteed a full stadium, right? £1 million worth of beer, or 2 million quid's worth of beer, right? And 60 odd thousand people there. You know, that's all he's interested. He's not interested in us winning anything.
Right. The subject of discussion was the logo, so we'll move on now. Any other discussions about Levy and whatever, they can be a topic of another show if and when the club come up with the next PR blunder, which probably isn't too far away.
Next week.
They'd win the gold medal for PR blunders, wouldn't they, right?
Yeah.
So let's move on to this, because I want to go through the team as well. Preview Man City versus Spurs, which is tomorrow, 5:30 UK time GMT. Predictive lineup. Now, I think we can safely say that Vicario is going to start in goal. Apparently, for Italy, he wasn't that great on crosses, apparently.
He had a mare.
Did he? Have you seen it? I haven't seen it, Alan.
I watched it. I watched the game against France. It was the kind of game I'm glad he didn't have for Tottenham Hotspur. You know, I'm glad if he was going to do it, it wasn't in our colors. Because hopefully he got it out of his system, because it exposed all the things we knew about him. You know, not great in set pieces, pretty good shot stopper, but again, when he's got to come out of goal, things go weird for him. And that own goal was terrible, and his performance was very poor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it true that he's a vampire? And he's scared of crosses.
He's scared of crosses.
Yeah.
Right, we have injury woes. We have 5 out. Odegaard, we know he's long term anyway. VDV, we know he's not quite ready. Romero, he's out, not ready. Mikey Moore still suffering with a virus. We don't know what it was. It might have been COVID or something else like that. Richarlison's one for me, because when I go and watch the training videos, I'm trying to see who's there and who isn't, whether the squad looks happy or sad or miserable or whatever. And they're all laughing and joking when I see them. And Richarlison was not only in the gym, he was kicking balls out on the training ground. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was on the bench tomorrow, although, because it's not the first time that Ange said someone ain't ready and end up in the starting lineup or on the bench. You know what I mean? So, and I don't mind him being coy. Why should you show your hand to the opposition? You know what I mean? So, but there's those, right? Now, with left back for you tomorrow, Alan?
The left back tomorrow would have to be, I guess, Destiny. It would have to be.
And on that, okay, because we talk about these players as we come through as well. Okay, I get that. Destiny, because we haven't got no one else. We didn't get a left back in, which we all wanted in the summer transfer window, which we didn't get. We didn't get enough work done in the summer transfer window. No ways. We didn't spend as much as we could, in my opinion. But Destiny, what do you take of his form this season?
Not great. But I think he's pretty much all we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of options. He's the best option we have.
Pretty poor, Mark, isn't it? Considering our transfer window, we didn't spend like as much as I thought we could spend. I think we had a net spend of about 70 mil. We seem to be more keen on getting players out. And the thing with Destiny, especially as during that transfer window, we knew Destiny had an injury. He didn't have a proper pre-season, and then to come and start playing. All right, he looked okay against Man United away, but his form has been, in my opinion, poor.
Yeah. But it doesn't help. No, I've said this Lord knows how many times. It doesn't help that he's a bloody wing back. You know, he's not a left back. He is a left wing back. Or that was his. I'm not saying you can't convert him to that, but you notice he's better going forward. You know, I'm not saying he can't defend at all, but he's certainly been found out this year. But I mean, to be honest, he's going to play tomorrow because he's the only one we got. You know, I mean, well, unless you like shoehorn Archie Gray or something, or Jed Spence or something over there. But see, none of them are natural left backs either. You know, it's like I said, I get fed up with saying this as well. It's the square pegs for round holes syndrome.
I mean, my view on, I think Destiny, I think he's got a fantastic ceiling. I think he's got such a high ceiling. I actually believe he could go and and he can play left back as Mike. He can play it down that left. And you don't want to face a tank like that coming at you anyway. It's very hard to get the ball up as well when he's got it. I mean, but he's just not hit nowhere near his form between the early part and the middle to latter part of last season, because his form at the end of last season wasn't that great either. Right. All right, Al, let's move on to pick a centre back. Who do you think's going? We'll pick the pair. Who do you think's going to play? I mean, we've got no Romero, no VDV. So
I think it's going to be Ben Davies and Dragic.
Right, okay.
I think that's where he's going. Ben Davies is, as you've said before in previous shows, he's like a 6 or a 7. He's dependable. You pretty much know exactly what you're going to get. He is susceptible to the occasional blunder, but generally speaking, he's a pretty 6 or 7 center back.
Welsh captain, playing all right for Wales.
Yeah.
Okay. Dragerson, though, Alan, I mean, what's your take on him this season as well? What you've seen of him?
What I've seen of him from Spurs isn't that great. What I've seen of him from was it Hungary?
Romania.
That's right, Romania. I only seen him in his highlights for Romania, but what I've seen, he looks good. So I'm kind of hoping he's not that Romero-esque. I show up for my national team, but not for my club team. And I know Romero will occasionally show up, but I kind of feel like he's. Hopefully, Dragic isn't like that. Hopefully, Dragic puts in the effort that he should. If his agent is anything to go by, he should be amazing. Tomorrow.
Mark, your take on Davis and Dragic?
But they're going to be the two, aren't they? I mean, let's face it, we've got no one else unless we stick Archie Gray in there.
And he played centre back for the under-21s.
But that's not the same. But that's not the same as playing Man City, is it?
No, it's not.
No, it's definitely not. But like as Alan said, Davis, Mr. Dependable. You know, he's always like your 6, 7 out of 10. He's never a 2. He's never a 9. You know, he just does what he's got to do. You know, I've always sort of rated Davis, to be honest, because he gets sort of dumped in with the likes of Eric Dyer and and a few others that we wanted out the club. But I've never seen Davis like that. Well, this is going to be in my opinion, it's going to be Davis's last year. I'd like to see the club keep. I'd like to see the club keep him because he's doing
he's very intelligent.
He's doing his coaching.
He's doing his badges.
Degrees and stuff like that. He's not going to want for a good job, right? Whether it's in or outside football. So far, what you've seen of him since he's been at the club. Mark?
Who? What Dragon? What Dragerson? Dragerson. I was going to say you broke up a bit. Well, put it this way: when we signed him, and he was he in the World Cup for Romania? He was fantastic. I thought, what a player we got here.
He had the top stats in Italy as well.
Yeah, and I thought I was like, my God, what defender we got here? Is it the system letting him down? Possibly. All that high line stuff, because he's not got Mickey's pace, is he? But
he's not slow though, is he?
But let's face it, all of it. I mean, you're not a bad player if you're playing in the Premier League. Whether they're good enough for Tottenham is a different matter. But Dragusin for Romania is fantastic. But he just hasn't brought that to. He hasn't brought that to the team yet, has he? But then again, he's not really been. Well, he sort of has been given a chance, but it's only been bit parts, hasn't it?
Yeah, my take on that is like, tomorrow he's going to have a different partner again, and he hasn't even had 4 or 5 games alongside VD, or 4 or 5 games alongside Romero. But I still critique him on playing everyone offside for the second goal against Newcastle. I still critique him for getting sent off against Karabakh, his positional play. I've critiqued him on his look. He looked ever so good in here. He's better than VDV in the air, that's for sure. Probably even better than Romero in the air. And Romero's good. Romero's by far, by a country mile, our best defender. But like at the back as well, again, hit and miss with me. I mean, for me to judge a player, if I was going back to the old school methods back decades ago, it would be you didn't judge a player on his first season if he had a fantastic season. After the second season, so they weren't a one-season wonder. And then, right, okay, you're here now, you've sort of made it. And after the first season, well, now, not if you just made it, we can consider you a season pro. But back then, there was 42 games a season. You may have played 100 games. Because it's changed, the game's changed now. I've lowered my game tally on players. I mean, to me, I still do it over 3 seasons. I think 40 games a season, it's a squad, 2 for every position. So 20 games the first season, now you've done 20 games the second. You're now a settled-in player. 20 games in the third, you're now a season pro. So half as many games. I mean, where it could have been 120 games, it's 60. I would give a proper assessment after 40 games a game the players played. That's the way I'd do it. But after 6, you are a season pro. But that would only be 2 seasons of games virtually. If you're playing for 1.5 seasons of games, if you played every game in the Premier League, just a league game, 60 games would only be 1.5 seasons. So I mean, I think even I might be coming up a bit short there, but fans don't. I mean, like the fan base is like it's every game is either happy times or it's knee-jerk reactions. It's the way it is now out there with media and all that. I mean, it's not going to change, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
probably not.
That's Dragusin. So, and we know there's a player in there because we've seen it. It's stability and consistency. These are the 2 things that are lacking at this club: are stability and consistency. And you won't get stability until you've got a proper squad. What we all agree on is a proper squad, and we know we need a left back, a left centre back. We know we need another number 9 instead of Richarlison. That's 3 minimum, right? If you bring in midfielders, you've got to get rid of midfielders, right? So anyway, we move on to Mark, right back. Who's playing right back tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be Porro, surely. He will. No, he's not on that list. No, it's got to be on it. I mean, well, I'd like to see Jed Spence given a go now and again, but you don't even seem to be able to battle his way in.
Well, he has had a groin strain.
Oh, has he? All right.
Yeah, he was coming back into the rec and he has got a groin strain, and others were saying, yeah, but he's fit, he should be playing, but they don't know that, right?
No.
I mean, Ange hasn't said, he's only named these guys that are out. So Spence is obviously fit, right?
Yeah.
So, and your take on his form this season, Porro's?
I hate to repeat myself yet again, but at the end of the day, he's a right wing back. That's what he was bought as. He was bought for a Conte system of 5 at the back. Now, I mean, no, he's not the best defensively, but going forward, he's very good. very good, which is what sort of a wing back does. They're good going forward and they're sort of okay at defending. But again, it's the system. I know I keep going on about the system, but because let's face it, if we got our full back four, all of them are quality players, but it's just a system that makes them look shabby and useless, in my opinion. That's only my opinion.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Alan, your take on Porro defensively, is he good enough? Or should we either get rid of him? Because, if we can't sort this out, technically he's a very good player. I've been highly critical of him against Newcastle and Leicester when he first came. Then it's suddenly he's won me over. I've warmed to him. I've got to be honest now. He's going back to the bad old days of his defensive errors as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think, well, to answer your question, is he good enough? His ceiling, if he were to get there again, is good enough, I believe. But he's not there, and he hasn't been for a while. You've pointed it out on a number of occasions. A lot of goals get scored from his side. They really do. And I think he's let the team down with his regression. Whereas if I had a choice, I would either put in Archie Gray or, if he was healthy, Jed Spence. At least with Archie Gray, I've never seen him not try. He's always out. He's running. He's doing his best. And I feel like, between the two, give him the Premier League experience and put Porro into the Europa and, swap him, kind of give him, because I think Archie's been trying harder. And I don't think we score I don't know the stats, but I don't know if we score as much with Archie on the right side as we do Porro. So
probably not, I'd say.
Yeah,
because Porro's always got that killer cross on him, hasn't he?
My take on Porro is I played right back. I was rubbish, right? But I would always make sure, and I used to like to get forward, but I'd always make sure that when the opposition had the ball, I was goal side. And I always looked over my shoulder. I don't see Porro. He doesn't even turn and look over his shoulder. I know he's quick enough. He probably thinks he's quick enough because he is fast. No two ways about it. He's got superb technique when it comes to striking a volley and the ball. And not many players have got it. Right? But going forward, and we do this all the time. We praise a player. He's in there. I've said it, whether it's wing back or full back. I said it on loads of podcasts that if being a wing back means you're absolved of defensive responsibilities, I don't want you on my team.
Yeah.
Because our defensive frailties are what are haunting us now, and it's not because of the system. We're giving away such goals when we've had 6, 7, 8, 9 people in the box, and we're still giving away goals. That's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. All right, we're all going to hope he turns it around, as you doggy and all that. But this back four, I hope these 6 coaches, 5 first-team coaches and the goalkeeper, I hope they're working with these players in defensive drills, right? Alan, we're moving to midfield because you might as well pick your 3. You've got a choice of 7 if you think that perhaps whether
Bergvall or anybody gets in.
Just the Bentancur ban open the door up for Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, or are you going with a 3 that doesn't include either of these 2 guys?
Well, I think Kulusevski gets in. He's probably our best player right now, and so I have to hope that he's in. He had a bad showing against Ipswich, but I think overall,
just to add to that, right. It's either 3 goals and 4 assists or 4 goals. I think it's 4 goals though, because he scored on his full debut when Sonny squared the ball to Man City. He'd only had 2 cameos, so he scored with his shoulder last season in a 3-3 draw, didn't he? So that's 2 goals.
But yeah, I do think Kulusevski starts. If I'm honest, I would love it if Archie Gray got into the midfield, because I think no one has seen him. Man City certainly has no idea what he's capable of in the midfield. So, maybe he does get it, or Bergvall might get it. My guess is between the two, it would probably be Bergvall.
He's somewhere we got to see a bit more. He didn't impress last time he got his chance away at Galatasaray, did he?
No.
And he did impress against Bayern Munich when actually Gray got bullied. But then Gray was up against Matthias Nunes and Man City. And it was a game when I thought he did well. It was a good test for him. It wasn't easy. And I thought he did well. And Gray hasn't let us down, Mark, has he, when he's been pulled into this side?
No, to be honest, but you can tell he's still young. He's still got to develop. This was my main criticism when we signed all the kids in the summer. We've got no one that was oven ready. It's all right buying for the future, for 3 or 4 years' time. But in all fairness, all us fans want to see us win something now, not 4 or 5 years and then it don't happen again, because, all right, you can buy all these youngsters in, but there's no guarantee they're going to. But to be honest, all these youngsters, they were only brought in for the sell-on value, in my opinion. That's only my opinion. It's the club
policy as well, isn't it? It's the club policy.
Well, it's the sell-on value as well. If we bought Archie for 40 million, 45 million, whatever we bought for, and he knocks it out of the park.
35 of Adams for 45.
Well, whatever it was. But if he knocks it out of the park in a couple of years, right, and he's suddenly worth like 90 million, 100 million, it's like 3 times the money, at least 2.5 times the money. I mean, that's why they were brought in. Put it this way. Would you ever see us go out and buy a 29-year-old that would fit our system perfectly, be exactly what we wanted for 40 million? No, we wouldn't, because there's no sell-on value. It's not the sort of thing we do.
You look for players now. I mean, if that player's 29 that you were going in for, why haven't you gone in for him before when he was younger? That'd be my argument on that. I mean,
well, yeah, but even so, Adrian.
Yeah, you look to bring in a player you can give a 5-year contract. So 25, 26, 27, if he's a central defender, they can play to 32, 33. We've seen it with Thiago and other players like different positions. You can add a year or two to. But I'm not against bringing in players. Look, I've said we've got 11 players in that 25-man squad that are under 24 years of age, and they're not oven ready. And I've banged on about everyone about, look, these players are not oven ready. They have been brought in for the future, and also in the hope that somehow, by some miracle, they'll hit the ground running now, or when Ange decides to use them this season. And they're going to get game time because we've got so many games to play. They will get some game time. And I just hope, we all want them to do well, obviously. But, but having that many, I think the balance is wrong. I think you should have 2/3 experienced players in the squad.
Of course.
I had 16, 17 experienced players in that.
I would have.
11,
I would have had no problems in the summer if we'd have bought Archie Gray and Bergvall in, right? If we'd have got the experience in with them. People, because I was saying it on all our transfer shows when the channel first started, like, I want to see people that's going to come in, whatever position they are, say, I don't know, central midfielder, come in, take the shirt of whoever's got it and say, right, that's mine now. You got to come and get it from me. You know what I mean? Because you wanted players in that was going to up our levels. Do Archie Gray, right, it is a question, do Archie Gray and Bergvall make us a better team? Immediately.
Not right now.
No, exactly. No, they don't. So what's the point?
When we look at players like Dyer and that going, definitely the squad has improved technically.
Well,
definitely.
That's in your opinion.
That's only my opinion, though. Definitely. Is the squad better than it was before getting rid of all these players? And it's how do you define better? Just in technical skill?
Yeah.
What about attitude? Attitude. Were any players we got rid of in a comfort zone or whatever? There are variables when you try to reach a decision like this, But back to the midfield three, Alan.
So if it's not Archie and Bergvall, my guess is we're probably going to see probably James Madison and maybe Basuma. He had a pretty good showing for Mali. He did pretty well over the international break. I think he got a goal. Or we could see Sarr, who also had a good international break. He's one of my favorites. In fact, I did a whole video where I thought that perhaps he could be a team leader. You know, as he gets a little older, he could definitely be someone that leads this team. From the way he came in, like nobody knew who he was, and he was just this guy. And then he got a chance, and he just did it, and he showed what his quality was right away.
Are you pushing Kula to get out on the wing then, because you're not left room for him? And where's Kulu playing on the wing? You have to go back out on the wing and shore us up a bit more. That would shore us up a bit more.
Well, it'll probably be Kulusevski, either Sarr or Madison, and I think it'll be Basuma. If we're lining up the way we usually do with the three.
Mark, your
midfield? Especially away at the Etihad, right? I want us to see with the two players that will sit a bit. Well, to be honest, we're going to be sat deep anyway because Man City are four. I mean, Man City did it at our ground with half a team, and they made us sit back. You know, and we played very well in that game. Hence why I always criticise the system that we play, right? And so I'd like to see us go with Sarr, Basuma, because they are more likely to sit back a little bit, and Kulu in the middle, or the number 10, because he's been our best player. But to be honest, the way Man City, especially now because they've got players back as well. I believe.
I think De Bruyne's back now.
I think De Bruyne's back, and a lot of their injuries are back.
Oh,
and you got to remember. Yeah, I was just about to say that. You got to remember in the Carabao Cup game, Haaland was sat on the bench for 90 minutes. Didn't even look like bringing him on, even when they were 1-0 down. You know, which is I'm not. You know, it was a good display against them because we sat back and sort of hit them on the break, which is what I've been crying out for ages. So
we sat back after we got the 2-goal lead. I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, but the two games that we've done particularly well in this game is where we've sat back a little bit and hit teams on the break. But knowing Ange tomorrow, you'll play 3 attacking midfielders, and then we'll just get overrun. You know, because let's face it, nobody knows what Ange is going to do. No. I don't even think Ange knows what Ange is going to do.
No. I mean, in midfield, Basuma has to come back into the side. He can beat the press. You'll need that against City. He's got to be on point, though, Basuma. Because I think if one player's at risk of leaving this club, if he don't prove it between now and January, Basuma, he's going to get a lot of game time. Bentancur is allowed to play in the European games, so we'll play against Roma on Thursday and Rangers away. He will play in those games. So Basuma's got to start showing his form. Instead of going dribbling and running amazing and all that, play a bit more central. He's good. He hangs on to the ball well. He loves to go forward, and he can dribble a bit with the ball, Basuma, as well. It's hard to get the ball off of, right? Which we'll need against City. Then it would be, to me, it'd be Stars showing good form. The kid, I'd play him. One, for the experience at the Etihad as well. Whatever the result, I'm playing him, get the experience under your belt. And you can't leave Decky out the side. I'm just wondering. I mean, me, for my own reasons, would I play Decky in midfield? No. I'd push him back on the right wing. But we'll come to the reason why in a minute. So the midfield makes sense. If Madison's going to play a bit deeper, and if Decky does play there, then you only got Basuma or Sarr to play. So
yeah, but
if Madison,
I don't want to see that. I want to see Sarr and Basuma.
Madison can do it. I mean, he's just got to show it, isn't he? He's another one. Well, Ange is probably saying, well, show me. You know, the rumours that they fell out and all that. I'm not into that, all that falling out reason at the club. I mean, and then you get the report by Football Insider, and you get the Spurs word, and you get the boot room, and you get all them. And I'm not being funny. most of what they publish is BS as far as I'm concerned. It's all rumour, speculation. None of it's substantiated or fact-based and all that, right? Other times, when it's a story there and it's right, they'll just copy it and post it and try and look good, you know? But to me, with that and the team, we're a little bit off tangent here a second, but when I watch them play against Man City, even if they set back, it's probably the best game I've seen Johnson play without scoring a goal, right? He was more involved, which he needs to get more involved in games. And against Aston Villa, I've never seen us press that hard in any game since Ange's been here.
Yeah.
So no way. Now, going back to Conte and Jose, when the team was supposed to press, when Kane had lost interest in Sonny, you could tell the press dropped right off. It hasn't dropped off this season. I know we were poor against Ipswich. We lost away at Galatasaray, but we made 7 changes to win that game against Ipswich. That's what makes it doubly painful, right?
Yeah.
And when we come back, it hasn't dropped off. All right, I lost to Man City tomorrow. I wouldn't surprise Spurs fans. It won't go down with me. I hate losing. But it's not a free hit either. As some said, is it a free hit? No, it isn't. No game's a free hit as far as I'm concerned, right? But have the players... Look, this is why you have a leadership group of Maddison, Romero, Vicario, and Son. If Dara issues, that group get together, they go and speak with the manager. I have no doubt they've had words about manager, about aspects of the game and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been no big bust up. You'd have been hearing more of it if it had in the media. None of these have printed these stories, right? Have come forward of anything else. There's no facts behind any of it. It's just rumours. Yeah, all right. They may have had words and it might have gone out. Someone's heard someone talking in a private conversation. I had a meet with Ange, or I spoke with Ange, or the team, the lead team went and had words with him and all that. But I don't believe there's anything there. I don't think that would happen unless things are really bad by Christmas time or something like that. I don't see it happening. But that, again, is only my opinion. Right. So let's talk about the front three, Alan.
It'll most likely be, it'll be Son. We didn't have him for the game against Man City in the Carabao Cup. So it'll be nice to have him back. He tends to be our good luck charm against Man City. He does well against Man City. So I'm hopeful for a good performance. I think it'll be Dom, Solanke, Big Dom, I think in the middle. And I think he'll put Johnson on the right. He's put Johnson in even when we never thought he deserved it. He was still putting Johnson in. And I think now he's grown on me. I got a feeling he's gonna be starting.
Well, he's our top goal scorer, Johnson. 17 games in all competitions, whether he's come on a sub or whatever. 7 goals for a leader, 1 assist and 2 goals for Wales. So it's 8 contributions. It's sort of like game contributions, 1 every other game. I must admit, I warmed to him. I didn't even want him at the club. I got to be honest. He's one of those so young, and I go and watch videos, and some players I say, I like the look of him. I was like, nah, and I wasn't keen at all. But I must admit, a few of at least 3 of those goals that he scored this season, I thought he showed composure rather than blast him over the bar from 5 yards out and whatever. The goal against Coventry, the kid was under so much pressure. Spence got the other one, didn't he? Right, when we sort of 1-2-1 in the cup. But the chip, and that was a cool finish, right? And he scored another couple of cool goals in the far corner. All seemed to be right, just tucked inside the post on the far corner, like goals. Good finishes. And I just think, now I'm thinking, I've warmed to him. I think, you've got something about you. Have got a higher ceiling. Want to see a lot more from him, though. I know that I think in all competitions, Solanke's got 6 goals. In about, again, he's sort of like 1-on-1. And Sonny's 3 goals and 3 assists for his goals. So they're all about, it's the forward line. I don't think we'll have an issue scoring goals. Whoever scores out of them, you're going to fancy Sonny and Kula against Man City, though, because they've got the habit, right? If you're betting, you're betting on those. I'm not happy with that, but I'll come to it after Mark. Mark, have you a say on the front three?
It's going to be Sonny, Solanke, and my man Johnson. I've already put the comment in. Look,
Yeah, the JDL.
I just wanted to add a caveat to the forward line as we've sort of picked a team. We'll talk about transfer rumours in a minute after we've done this. My concern, because we've leaking goals, I was just wondering if Maddison got squeezed into that side, right, in midfield, and Decky goes back out to the right. Because when
possibly.
when Decky was on the right, he used to give Porro protection. It's not happened recently when we're leaking these goals. Now, Ange might think, let the players sort that out themselves, right? Because they're playing for their careers here, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if he gets rid of players at the end of the season. I still expect him to be here, even though others don't. But I mean, so I expect him. I would actually, if I was manager, I'd be playing Decky on the wing for that game.
Yeah.
Pick him on the wing for certain. You're away from home. Look what he did at Luton when we're down to 10 men, when Basuma got sent off and VDV scored the goal. We come away with a 1-0. Decky's held that front line. Everyone's used him as an out ball because he can hold on to the ball. I don't know if it means you drop Johnson or you bring him on a sub.
And to be honest,
Johnson in the middle and you don't play Maddison. Then you then play Saar, Basuma and Johnson, and let Decky play there and don't play Maddison, because if anyone's not going to be up for a fight and dog it out in midfield, it's got to be Maddison. He has got a tackle in him. We just don't see it. We just don't stuck in, right?
And to be honest, Kulu does get back and help Porro as well.
This is it.
He will come back and give him a hand.
You could then argue against it. Well, why should Kulu have to spend half his time protecting Porro? You got that argument as well, haven't you?
No, but it's I don't want to keep saying it, but it's the system we play, because Porro's ordered to charge up the pitch, and get the ball in.
But it'll be different.
They
will have most of the ball. We will be pinned back.
Well, of course they will.
They'll have at least 2/3 of the possession, maybe 70% or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be more condensed. So if it's more condensed, Porro should do better in that situation.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be back, right? And that might be part of Angie's thinking as well.
Well, we got a request here, Adrian, in the comments.
Go on.
Oh, no.
I can bring the yellow card situation up for you now.
There we are.
So the last thing he needs is a booking against. It won't matter if he gets booked in Europe. Different disciplinary procedure for European games and UEFA. That won't matter. But when he comes back for the Nottingham Forest away game, if he's got the 7-match ban, it's Nottingham Forest away, Boxing Day, I think it is. And why the fucking Premier League why can't teams have local derbies over Christmas so they don't have to travel? You know what I mean? I mean, this is the
fans as well, isn't it? It's the fans as well.
Yeah. I mean, all right, Staffordshire, it's not far, but you've got to get there, knowing what transport systems are like over Christmas anyway.
Well, it's Nottinghamshire, isn't it? Surely.
It's Nottinghamshire, yeah. Staffordshire.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. So fans, well, that's another
time. But it's still what, 150 mile up the M1.
And this is why you can see, looking at the yellow card list. Good that you mentioned it, Audio. But so you can see that in midfield, you're going to pick up yellow cards. So if Maddison can keep his mouth shut and not get booked for dissent or taking his shirt off if he scores a goal, right, he'll be pretty safe. But with 8 games to go before the amnesty, I don't see Basuma or Kulusevski, one of them, not picking up 5 yellow cards. And if either of them do or both of them do, then you are going to see Archie Graham Bergvall. Archie Graham Bergvall.
Yeah.
So, I put the 7-match ban next to Bentancur because basically we don't know what's going to happen. So that's the yellow card thing. Like I say, Kulu's great goals. Right. So, I mean, we'll be pushed back like we were in the game at White Hart Lane, but we've got pace on the. Well, one thing we have got is, I mean, even Pep said against that game in the League Cup, he said so much pace. He went, Spurs have got so much pace. Whereas when we struggled under Conte Marino, we didn't have the pace in midfield. We were slow. But we've got the pace now to get them on the break. And Kulusevski's not slow. But if Johnson is out there, you never know. I mean, like Werner might start or I'll have a say off the bench. When legs tire, then I don't mind. I don't want to see him starting a game for us, Werner, to be honest, because he can't score goals. That's no good for me. But I mean, I can still see him coming on 20 minutes to go or something and roasting people. Right. But
yeah.
so saying we're all sort of really at the agreement that if it's true to form, it's going to be Decky, Basuma, and Sarr in midfield. The front three we've all picked, and the back four picks itself.
Yeah.
All
right.
I think.
Although I think there will be changes. I mean, David here, like about slating Maddison and that, he's, I mean, Maddison's he's just not really. He's a fantastic player, but he's just not really done it at the moment, is he?
He kind of reminds me of Ndombele in that respect.
Goals. He's got 3 goals this season.
Yeah.
A lovely free kick, the shot that keeper should have saved away at Brighton, and I forget the other one at the moment, right? But they're the 2 that I remember offhand. He's a fantastic footballer on the ball. And the thing that's disappointing, he's getting more space now because Decky's being more used as the battering ram up front, attracting defenders.
Yeah.
So he's getting a bit more space. So Maddison needs to be doing a bit more on the ball, with the ball, right? He may well start him. He may well start him. I mean, when Decky may go out on the right, well, we don't know. I don't want him starting if Decky isn't out on the right. I'd rather have Decky in there, right? But
I mean, personally, if you're going to put Decky and Maddison, I'd still like them 2 behind him. So I'd be tempted to play like 4-4-2 or something. Stick Son and Solanke up front because Son's not a left player anymore.
With Maddison, it's more like horses for courses. Use him as a flat track bully against teams. As much problems like those that sit back with a low block. All teams will come forward when they get a free kick or a corner, obviously.
Yeah.
Even the poorest teams, right? Chance to get a goal from a set play. But yeah, I mean, you keep him because we need to see what how he performs over the season and what games he gets and how he performs. And if he really shines, then he keeps his place.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't throw him under the bus. But Suma's always a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a party animal, flash jury and all that, and that always gets people going, like you got in a comfort zone when you got your Spurs contract, like a lot of players have done.
We have Maddison has been on the pitch 240 minutes, less than Kulu, but has 1 more goal.
I thought Kulu's got 4 goals and 3 assists. Or is it 3 assists and 4 goals, David? Let us know. And that may be right, David, but I think it's undeniable that Kulu's been our best player this season. He's been more effective than Maddison has been. Now, and they're different. So we are comparing apples with oranges here because they're totally different styles of play anyway. You've got to decide what you want for a particular game, and that's down to Ange, isn't it? What he wants. I'm not saying Maddison's a fucking terrific footballer.
Yeah.
Again, we're back to consistency again, aren't we? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, when he wants to show up, he's really good.
Okay. This man who hasn't performed, we'll talk about players and we'll go on. We've done enough about the preview, right? Bergvall now has 4 caps for Sweden, 19 games through his Swedish side. Diehards, he scored 6 goals and 5 assists. That's what got us the attraction. That's what got Johan Langer, who knows the player, knows them leagues out there. He's from that neck of the woods, isn't he, out there? So, not bad, but we're yet to see him. I've seen glimpses of there's a footballer in there. Whether he's good enough for us, I don't know yet. I don't know if Bergvall's good enough for us. He's a talent.
Too young. He's still too young, Adrian.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing in the ready-made, we brought in like.
Agreed. I said we got too many players.
I mean, the Spurs training ground now must be like a sixth form college.
Yeah, he's no Dele Alli.
No.
This guy's doing well. He's coming in January.
Again, see?
Yeah. He's got 11 goals and 6 assists in the K-League, but we see. We're another one we got to wait and see what this player's like. I've watched video of him. He can bang a goal there. He gets some screamers,
In a couple of years, we'll be going to the sperm bank to get our signings.
Waiting at the maternity leave.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Right. Okay, what else? We've got Brennan. Injury Rose, scroll down here. Yellow card. Right. I don't think we'll be going for a goalkeeper yet, but we're linked with this guy from Lyon. I posted a video of him today everywhere. A few Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, Twitter, and Spurs.
We definitely need another backup
He's
goalie.
another one, though. When I've looked at him, he's another one. It's a thing when he's got, because they don't face it now. There's no big centre forwards up front. He's another one. If his weakness, it's crosses. But as for saves, I mean, like he's over 6 foot. I'm not sure how tall Vicario is. He looks a bit more solid than Vicario. Seeing him save with his legs, double saves, him do this. No wonder everyone's looking at him, because I think he's coming into the last year of his contract.
Right, just a quick comment from David. Hang on, let me bring that up. There we go. Not in the Premier League. I've watched Maddison for 6 years. He had his best.
Yeah, fair enough, Dave.
Indeed. And 2 box-to-box midfield. There we go, see? Yeah. Allowing Maddison to come off the left. The Spurs don't play him right. So, yeah. It's like I said, with Tottenham now, our defence, you've got 2 wing-backs. You've got a right and a left wing-back that were bought for Conte's system, but we insist on playing them as a left-back and a right-back. You know, it's square pegs. It happens all the time. Square pegs for round holes. I've used that statement thousands of times on this show now.
Yeah.
Square pegs, round holes.
So, no doubt you two haven't seen Lucas Chevalier play. So
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, right, fair enough. But we're not going to, I mean, like, this isn't the January. I mean, we need a left back in January and a left centre, but we're not going to go for a goalkeeper yet. We've got Forster to the end of the season, Austin. I mean, we've got enough cover to get us through to the season. And then
who was the one that played some of the pre-season games?
Austin.
Yeah,
Austin.
He
looked half sensible.
Now, 26, and he was the England under-21 goalkeeper.
Yeah, I was going to say, he did look, well, I know it's only pre-season, but he didn't look too bad. I'm amazed Foster's been playing.
Lucas Gunter, who played for the under-21s last season, I think is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'd rather see him brought in as the number 3 goalkeeper or whatever, as Gunter, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper.
I'm not being funny, though. If we've got these 2 sort of half-sensible goalkeepers, why is Foster still here? He's about 60.
Yeah, well, that's a club decision, isn't it? It's a recruitment team and Ange decision. They see him in training. They see him in training.
Well, I suppose so, but like it sort of mystifies me. You know, because when are these, like the 2 you mentioned, the 2 sort of that was under 21s and the under 21 goalkeeper, when are they ever going to get a chance? Especially that real young one, the real young one. You said, I mean, if he's 4th choice keeper, you got to be damn unlucky to get. I mean, you got to be damn unlucky to get 3 goalkeepers injured.
Right,
you talk about Alfie Whiteman.
This guy's approaching the last year of his contract, and there will be teams coming in for him. Right, 28-year-old. You like an old player, Mark, an older player. Right foot, experienced German international centre back Jonathan Tah, soon to be in the final year of his contract if he isn't already in it. I like the other kid they've got there, as Nkappi. I like him. He's left-footed, but he's 24. He's good. He is a first-class centre-back, Jonathan Tah. And he's not...
Is he? Bring him in immediately. If he's up, he's definitely oven ready, so bring him in.
Especially as, also, the other thing we have to throw into the scenario is the fact that, like, Romero's down to 2 years in the summer. Now, to me, you either sign or we sell. No messing about. You either want to be part of my... If you don't want to play at my football club, get the fuck out. My attitude's always been like, go. Then go. If these rumours are that, you'd like to go to Real Madrid and all that, all right, then that's fine. I ain't got worried about selling them because I know Levy will get the most money possible. He'll get more money than Devil out of a transfer deal, right? So I'm not bothered about that. We paid what 50 for him. We get at least 25 on top of that from Real Madrid. If they want him, and Levy did quote in the beginning of the season 150 million. so like, I mean, like, and he is an 80 million pound. How many better defenders are there in the world?
Not many.
His age as well. He's only 27, I think. He's won a World Cup and 2 Copa Americas. He's
here we go.
The 85 million pound player.
There's another comment about Jonathan Tah.
Go on.
Tah's in his final year. Free transfer in the summer.
Yeah, I read that as well. Yeah. And I mean, obviously we'd be able to give him the wages, but look, you just know in the final year, Man United will be in, Liverpool will be in, because Matey at the back, the Dutch, a brilliant Dutch defender, he's not getting any younger. They might even be looking to, offload their fullbacks, even Liverpool. I mean, like Robinson or whatever. So he would be a good acquisition. But I'm going to refer everyone back now to what Ange said. This is why I definitely want a left back, minimum, in that transfer window. He said at the beginning of the season, I don't want to bring another centre back in. This is before we've got the injuries to Ramira and VDV, right? He said, I don't want to bring another centre back in because I do not want to block the path of Ashley Phillips or Luka Vuskovic, who's coming in January, right?
Can I just jump in a minute, Adrian?
Of course you can.
Would you like the link, Mr. Daigle? If you can put yes or no, or send me a WhatsApp or whatever. If you want the link, mate, I'll send you it.
How old is Luka Vuskovic? Is he like 19, 18?
No, he can't come to us till he's 18. He's 18 in January, so he's allowed to come to us legally at that age. He is every loan he's had, he's smashed it. He's gone to Westerlo with Alfie Devine, player that me and Brian really like a lot, who lost a year of his development because he wasn't played at Portsmouth when they changed managers. But Ashley Phillips was. Go and look at some of his goals. And with Vuskovic as well, I don't know if I've got anything down here. Whether I did a little thing on him. I may have done further up. I'm just going to have a look. I'll give you a bit more info if I've put it in here.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't, David. If he wants to stay and sign a new contract, I would definitely keep him, because he's to me, my opinion again, he's our best defender by a country mile. The others are all learning the trade.
I think Jonathan Tah's an experienced.
I would take Tah tomorrow. I would take
Tah. We need more experience to help guide our youth. I think the problem we suffer from now is I don't see any player that seems like the person that would take these youths under their wing and help develop them, so they're kind of floundering, in my opinion. They're floundering. We have all of these youth, but none of the experience necessary to guide them. We want world-class experience, and I think Jonathan Tah, Leverkusen won. They're in the Bundesliga. They did something that hadn't been done in 15 years or something like that. And he's a phenomenal. He had Tapsoba and Hincapié on his side. So he's got a phenomenal back line. Leverkusen are a force to be reckoned with. They're a success story, and that's something that can inspire the youth. But I don't know.
I would take Hincapié. He's 24, but he's Ecuadorian, but he's left-footed. He can play at left back as well, and he's there as well. And I would take either of them, even though he's only 24. I would definitely take Hincapié. He would solve 2 problems in one as well. But you're looking at forking out for him 60 mil, whereas Tah, you're going to get him for a signing on fee in his bank account, and a big wage probably. A lot more than they're paying him anyway. But just back on Vuskovic, Luka Vuskovic, and I've watched him in the goals he scored for Westerlo. Right. Vuskovic can even play as a number 6.
But Ange doesn't play a 6, unfortunately.
He's sat in there. No, he hasn't been deliberately give it, but he's ended up sitting in there like at some games. He's a generational talent. He is a generational talent for a defender. Yeah. But,
I would love it if we had a 6.
And they're all built. I mean, like you take Phillips, 6'4". This Vuskovic, he's a tank.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen his interview. He's a big kid. He's a big kid.
They must stick them in grow bags in a greenhouse or something when they're young, you know what I mean?
But then again, it's like I keep saying, we need the oven ready, you know, the oven ready players. You know, it's like the whole club has just turned into a sixth form now. We're just buying them for the sell-on value, in my opinion.
I want a left-footed centre back, and Tar's right-footed. I want a left-footed centre back. The difference of your shape. It's a different shape when you're facing the team when you go into the ball. Rather than leading with your right, you're leading with your body shape's different, you know, obviously. But you know, we've been linked with this guy as well, centre back. Long-term ex-Courage, 24-year-old Bournemouth, 6'1" right-foot Ukrainian. He's got 43 caps. He's well-experienced international centre back, and he's played really well for Bournemouth.
I'll bring him in.
Zabani, you've watched him, have you, Mark?
Well, no, he's 23. That's about 6 years older than we normally buy him.
He's experienced as well for his age. All them caps for Ukraine.
Here we go. There's a question here. How much will a 25-year-old Ledley King cost us now?
85.
A lot.
Yeah.
100 mil probably.
He was the man. Yeah. And he only had one knee, remember? Well, he's followed that up with 100 mil. Yeah, it would be somewhere like that. He was like, can you imagine if he had two knees? How many games? Well, he was a bit unlucky because you had John Terry and who else was the centre backs for England? It was John Terry.
You'll know about this guy, right? That we're rumoured to be linked with. We're going to get a lot of these rumours up now the window, but there's a soft conversation just to see if panellists like the players or not, right? Spurs rumoured to link with 24-year-old guy.
Lamptey.
Tarek Lamptey, who was in the last year
from Brighton.
I think he was at Brighton to Chelsea. From Chelsea's back at Brighton now, I think.
Yeah.
So
he's just injury prone. From what I remember about Tarek Lamptey, so he's injured a lot, and we were interested in. I thought it was a couple of transfer windows ago. We were interested in Lamptey, and then we didn't go for him. I liked Lamptey; he was playing very well for Brighton back then.
Yeah, I have to temper my interest in players with the players we've got in those positions at that particular time. Now that we've got you Doggy, and now we've got Porro, now we've got Spence. Would I want a Lamptey? To me, no. One, he's 5'4", defending pieces and things. He looks good. He's another one who looks good going forward, right? I don't know. I brought this up. I don't know what his defensive stats are like. You know.
I don't follow Brighton that closely enough.
No.
Well, yeah. The only time I saw them, they beat us. Yeah, and so I went off them. Well, here we go. There's David put a comment in about Lamptey. Oh, his form fell off a cliff at Brighton.
Yeah, I don't want him, David.
Yeah.
It's not one I would like to see. But us three, we all only express our opinions. We don't get the transfers. So you can't kill us if we get the wrong players in there. No.
Well, and he's injured. We just don't need an injury prone. We have so many injury prone players already.
Oh my God! Yeah. Definitely. Oh,
Brian's
hang on. Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Welcome, Brian. Right, we're going through some of the transfer rumours. We've just talked that none of us want Tarek Lamptey because he's too small for me anyway. No good. Do you like the player, Brian?
I liked him 3 years ago when we were originally going for him, but it's too expensive.
Yes.
I liked him 3 years ago when he wasn't injury prone.
When we had worse defenders than him.
Listen, Spurs looking for right backs is one of the the most pointless expeditions because we'll buy 5 cheap, and then
Yeah.
realize we should have got the right one in. And then listen, first of all, happy Friday to everyone. I can actually, it's nice. I've just been sitting at work and training, so it's nice to be able to come on and
Yeah, how was your day, Brian? All good?
Day 1 was so good. I went back for day 2, and day 2 was so good that I might go back on Monday for day 3.
Right. We'll get your opinion. We've discussed numbers. We'll get your opinion on this guy who I like. Rumoured link with 28 right-footed experienced German international centre-back Jonathan Tah, soon to be in his final year of his contract.
I think he's a very, very good player, but I think it's very, very pointless talking about January transfer targets because we've been told that there's hardly any money. We know, obviously,
there's money. There's money there.
No, but Adrian, we all know there's money there. I argue with this every single week. It's whether we spend it, which we won't, and then you've got to look up at the bigger thing is, do we even have Ange Postecoglou? Which I hope we do. I hope we do.
He'll be there.
If we did, mate, I wouldn't be so sure. But if we don't, do we give this manager money or do we keep Mason until the end of the season to get the right manager? So January targets for me, I'm not. This time last year, I said I'm judging this window solely on bringing players in quickly. If we can bring in players quickly rather than wait until the last day to sign a Porro or a Kulusevski and Bentancur, signing players early would have shown me progress. And we
Have you watched this guy much?
No.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, it's cheers, Dipstick. I have to say cheers to one of my good mates. Never met Lord Rodney Trotter, but he's a top man. Top man. We always have good bands. So like I said, this January transfer window, who comes in, who knows?
He's got to be a left back. We've got to bring a left back in.
I tell you one thing: if this deal comes true, I officially wave the white flag and I give up.
Yeah.
This is all low tier media reports like football, Spurs Web.
I will disappear. You won't. You won't. I will give up. I will be. That's the end of me.
This is one for the fairies. This is one for David. That's one for fairies on the Christmas tree, mate.
Have you provisionally booked a flight to stand outside the training ground?
If Southgate becomes manager, I will be home. I'm a man of my word. I will be outside that training ground weekdays.
In the freezing cold. In the freezing.
You got to remember, freezing cold January.
Oh, it's nothing.
Is summer for me.
in Ontario. Yeah.
I've watched this guy, but you guys probably won't have. But rumoured to link with Danish Nigerian 20-year-old Lecce left foot, right winger, left back Patrick Dorgo. He played in the under-21 tournament during the season. Again, he's not oven ready. He does look good though. But I mean, like he's.
This guy
surprised me. He's in the age group that we tend to go for players. We've got 11 under 24 years of age in the team now, which is too many. And
this guy is a talent, Adrian, in a position we desperately need someone.
It wouldn't surprise me if we get him. But it's still going to be 30, 40 mil.
I tell you what, I'd be delighted if we get him, which I don't think we will in January, maybe in the summer, whatever. If it doesn't go anywhere, this will be this I will be delighted with.
He would be good. He's quality, and I don't like using the word backup because we're Tottenham Hotspur. We should never use the word backup. But I mean, like, I would take him. I would take him, same as you, because I haven't seen the only other older left back I looked at. This was like at the beginning, but he did his ACL was Bradley Locko, also in France. Docker, I think it is, but. Yeah, you guys Mark. You've not seen Dorgu, no, in the tournament.
No, I will admit.
You watch some tournament football.
Listen, I will say I heard him being linked in the summer, and I hadn't heard of him. I've seen him being continuing links, and then you know what we do: YouTube compilations, or just checking stats, and everything, or checking the websites that show key attributes and weaknesses, and. I'm only going by what I'm seeing on YouTube, and everyone can look good on YouTube. But he does look like a real prospect that would be worth bringing in.
Yeah, when people say to me, "Oh, yeah, but they all look good on the YouTubes," hang on though, just hang on. if you've got a bit of patience, you watch your videos a couple of times. If they're midfielders and attackers, I'm looking for players who move with vision, who move the ball quickly, can make things happen. We don't have players that can make things make things happen in our team, right? Defenders different. It's intelligent awareness, positional. Obviously, whether they can tackle and head the ball, whatever.
Thank God, David. Thank
Oh,
God.
yeah, hallelujah.
About Winks. That's good.
Yeah.
I literally would have just said, "That's it. I'm done." I would have said, "That's it."
White flag.
Is an interesting one.
Go on, you guys take over. I'm disappearing into the darkness, but now I can relax.
This is an interesting one, guys. Room to link with 17 capped USA Johnny Cardoso. Do you know? You must know him, Alan. 6'1", 23. Centre defensive midfielder, seeing part of the complex Lo Celso deal. The Lo Celso deal, right? As it stands, guys, for those of you who don't know, my panelists probably do know. When his loan went out there, part of the weird deal was that we get first dibs on Johnny Cardoso for an agreed fee of about 20 mil, right? Which is not a lot of money in today's market. Or if we don't take up that option, we still get a percentage of his sell-on fee, which is really weird. But there's a lot of these crazy deals with him. He's right, some crap like that. Now I've watched this kid, right? Now, have any of you watched him? Because I like you have your say first. Any of you watched him?
I've seen him here when I saw was he on the national team? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he's played. He's got something.
I want to say I met this Cardoso because I met a bunch of the players. Maybe it was him too, but he's supposed to be really solid. I mean, but he's also supposed to be solid for an American team, which may not be Premier League ready.
Yeah,
most likely not.
He is. I mean, he's fearless, right? And he does get stuck in, but I don't know if he's got a long pass on him or nothing like that.
Yeah, but this is the problem, Adrian. He's the number 6, and we know Ange Postecoglou is using a number 6. Now, it says here you put in there that he can play central midfield. We've got so many bloody midfielders.
Yeah, we've got all number 8s and a couple of number 10s.
We bought in Graham Bergvall, and we're told we're not bringing any more midfielders in because we're delighted with their progress and they're ahead of expectations. Well, now they're so far ahead that they haven't started a Premier League game, and we're looking for another midfielder.
By the way, as I've mentioned, I've posted videos in the free Facebook groups, in the WhatsApp groups I'm in. I've done them on XCOM on Twitter, just so as it gets Spurs Diehards out there. And if you love the show, guys, don't forget, to subscribe and leave us a thumbs up and a comment, please. So you're limited on this kid, this next one. I like this player, but I'll let you all go first, right? Now, I think he's in the last year of his contract at Lille, right? Angel Gomez, right? Anyone want to take this? Who's seen him?
He's a great player. Great. He is someone that.
Typo there for me. Idfielder.
This one would excite people.
And attacking.
Oh.
What I'm going to say is, I've posted the video in the WhatsApp groups. Brian's in the group. Go and look at the video of this kid, right? And carry on.
I'm not in your WhatsApp group.
Sorry?
I'm not in your WhatsApp group.
Oh, we can add you. They do get a bit toxic in there. Not that you're like.
No, don't add me to it because literally, I'm done. I would say when it comes to WhatsApp groups within Spurs,
I'll post you the video, Brian.
Do that. I'm a veteran and I get sick and tired.
You're on my friends list in there side by side, the WhatsApp group. So
there you go.
Have any of you guys watched this kid apart from that he got a game for England, played for England?
No.
24 now.
I've never seen him. No, I can honestly say.
What I'm going to say to you guys when I send you the video, watch this kid's long-range passing.
Yeah.
He is excellent. His vision is superb, right? I would take him watching that video, better than anything you see for Alderweireld in the past and all that. And no matter where he's on the pitch with his vision, he's looking for that long ball to play someone through. Not like Conodle and all that, but like his long range passing is superb. His vision is excellent.
I have to say, just very quickly on Dave's comment here, I don't know if you ever heard me say it on YouTube, Dave, but I've said it that the next business enterprise Daniel Levy brings out will be he'll bring out his own sperm bank, and
I've said this,
the headline will be "Why buy youth when you can create your own?"
Yeah,
That's the next. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But no, this guy, from what I understand as well, we do have kind of, players talk and everything. Apparently, he is very good pals with Dominic Solanke. Apparently, Dominic Solanke could be very, very key into, these players, entice them. Johnny Bethnal Green, I've got to get you into Rachel's group. I apologise. I'll get you in there. I'll speak to Rachel over the weekend.
I told him because he was WhatsApping me, and I told him to reach out to you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I've just been rushed off my feet, but Johnny, I'll get that sorted over the weekend, buddy. But yeah, apparently Solanke, we've heard it how players try and entice them and say, right, listen, you play for him, and when they go on international duty and whatever, apparently he is very, very, very. It's a whole thing. You see, it's another revenue stream, David. The bank, the preschool, the high schools, everything. It's, but yeah, apparently Solanke could be key in this. Could be key in influencing him.
Right. Okay. Let's start with you, Brian. How many players do you think we're getting in January?
I think the guy from South Korea is coming in, and probably
not excluded him because we know he's coming, and we know Vaskovic is coming as well, right?
Well, he's not coming in January.
Yeah, he is. He's 18. He's coming in January.
He's not.
They're bringing Vuskovic in January.
Yang-Min Hook's
comes in January.
He's coming in December.
If he comes in January, he's not getting a game. He'll go straight out on loan somewhere else in England or somewhere, because if you think he's not giving Archie Graham Bergvall a game, but he's going to put a 17-year-old in at centre-back and 18. Go, there you go. Not a chance.
He's got
not a chance. 18, 17. I honestly think...
well, just on that, I did mention to the others, not to be unfair you or anything like that, Ange did say, when asked about... this was weeks ago, before we got injuries to Romero and VDV, I don't want to bring another centre back because I don't want to block the path. His words of Ashley Phillips and Lucas Vaskovic. That was a while ago, though.
Ashley Phillips should be brought back in. If you think, honestly, when Ange Postecoglou said in the second season I win everything, and he said, "Yeah, go get me an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 17-year-old on loan. That will win me trophies." You've got to read between the lines. There is no way. If Vuskovic comes in January, he will go straight out on loan to either a League One or a Championship team. There is no way. I think all the Spurs fans, as talented as he is, and don't get me wrong, he looks like we've got a steal here and we've done a remarkable bit of business. Do you put a 17-year-old that's been playing in Poland and the Belgian league, or do you record Ashley Phillips that's played English football for Blackburn, been on loan at Plymouth, playing regularly for Stoke, doing well, and you go, there you go, mate.
Yeah.
I think Ashley Phillips is going to... When we signed him, I put a tweet out and I said the year is 2028 or 2029. Spurs are being let out, and Ashley Phillips is armband. So yeah, there is no way with Vuskovic he walks into this squad.
I'm not so sure on that because I've been really impressed with what I've seen of him. I'm really impressed with him. But we'll see. We'll see in January, won't we? What happens? But you didn't answer. Well, so how many are we getting in? 5 new players, or just the one? Or two new ones, apart from the ones you mentioned, yeah.
If Vuskovic is coming in, that's Shuk and Vuskovic. I'd expect one more. I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And do any of you know, or in the chat, this is interesting in January, especially when we talk about foreign players, because at the moment Spence can't be added to the Europa League squad of 23, right? Because we didn't have enough academy trained that have been with the academy for 3 years. I mean, B-list players have to be with the club for 2 years, and that squad has to be announced before each Europa League Cup game, right? Well, I've been going through all these different scenarios in my head. I mean, whether you pull Werner out, and give Spence a Europa Cup squad. But then again, you might have the other added problem of, do you bring in a foreign player in January, knowing that you can only use him for league games because there's no room in the squad? Does that mean we'll look for English talent? Or do we sort of say, no, as long as the player's got the quality, we'll just have to go with what we've got, and maybe even take Bergville out of the Europa Cup squad because he's not shown anything. He might do by the time we get to January, though, if he's given game time. We don't know. Brian?
Sorry, can you just repeat that last bit again? I just had.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, Bergville hasn't had that much game time to show himself anyway. I mean, I know a lot of fans would rather Werner be taken out of the squad to make room for Spence in Europa Cup. Only got 23. But there could be an argument for Bergville to be taken out of the Europa Cup squad if we brought a foreign player in January. Because otherwise, they don't find the league games.
Listen,
let me throw another confusing fact in for you. By January, and I don't know the rules on this, by January, right? Don't laugh, right? Would any of our B-list players that have been with the club for 2 years have crossed the 3-year threshold? And then would the rules allow us to increase our Europa League squad from 23 to 25 like every other normal club?
I mean, there's even talk of maybe Bergville going out on loan. So it shows that we really, of course, we're delighted by his progress. Out on loan you go. That's a real rubber stamp of what it is.
Yeah.
That's why I said, listen, when it comes to January and us, don't have any predictions. Don't have any, this and that's going to happen. We need this, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's normally December the 27th, January the 27th, 28th, maybe 29th that things get done. It's certainly not January the 3rd, is it?
Well, no. I mean, to be fair, I mean, Werner came in the first week of January, first couple of days of January. Whether you approved of it, I actually thought at the time it made sense because some was going to Asia for the games. There's a left winger with Premier League experience that had on his day, and all right, his day was
yes.
But obviously, we know what we know now, and it hasn't worked out. But that came in straight away and under the radar. Then Radu came in by the 10th or something. The last two windows, we were signing players on the last day. And Porro from before January till the end of January. So the club did well in getting players in early. This window, like I said, players out on loans could be done, and then we've already get heard. We need to buy to sell to buy, and blah, all the normal buzzwords.
I don't think the club got no excuses now. They've got the players out. I mean, we know we've got Gil, Reguilon, we've got Lo Celso, and Højbjerg still got to be paid for, but they're sort of virtual done deals. They've got no excuse why we couldn't get these deals done because we're getting players off the books now. There's no excuses for that at all.
But you must remember, Adrian.
Stats, not impressive in this league yet, but he was doing this, and this was Johan Lang signing.
You must remember, Adrian. You must remember that this stadium is going to take us to the next level. That's what we were all told. How long's it been open now? 5 years. We're sort of limping towards the next level.
I mean, Poch wasn't backed in 500.
Well, there we go.
Adrian, you're, like I said, you're on X, and one of my friends said to me, or he put something on his Twitter, and it's so true. There are more people that will come out when some bad shit comes out about Levy, and Levy starts getting heat. There are more people on X that will come out and defend what Levy is doing than say, do you know what? What the hell is going on? Where's the trophies? Where's the progression? Where's the players? Where's this? Rather than say, listen, what are you doing? I've backed you, but this is getting silly. They all come. I mean, I must admit, over the last few weeks since the Ipswich game, more and more people have been people who I didn't think that would be vocal are being vocal right now. But like you said, Adrian, when you say there's no excuse for them not doing this, trust me.
No,
there will be an excuse. Go, oh yeah, when you look at it that way, and blah blah blah, and you look at the spreadsheet, and they'll find a way, and they'll be rejoicing in the brilliant business because we didn't spend in January because it's a hard window.
Well, I mean, In the last window, my two main target, I wanted Eze and a left back. We didn't get the left back. We didn't get Eze. This window, if the club don't realise, and the recruitment team don't realise how badly we need a quality left back, don't pay the money, get Dorgu, right? Just get him, right? And if you can get, and if you think with Romero, when you sit down and talk to him, if he he'd be down to 2 years in his contract. If he don't want to sign for Spurs, sell him. Just get rid of him. I don't want players at this club that don't want to be here, right? Just sell him and then go and get Tar or whatever, someone else, right? Because we can't afford, let's not get in these situations where we get players down to 1 year in their contract like before. I mean, like on the Brian, we'll get your take on. Give us your team to play tomorrow.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean,
we've settled on, right?
Today, and I said, listen,
right, okay.
Spurs, Man City don't lose at home. Spurs don't win away. Man City have key players coming back. Spurs have key players out.
Oh, I saw your tweet. Yeah.
New contract and under pressure. It's got 2-1 Spurs written all over it. Although I don't think so. I think we lose, but that would just be the most typical Spursy thing. But I've seen as well. I don't know if people have seen it. Manchester City have tweeted, and so Manchester Police or whatever. But the weather tomorrow, they're saying like for trains and the weather is meant to be horrific rain.
Yeah,
really bad winds. So who knows right now? And obviously, I'm not in Manchester. I don't know how bad. Who knows if it even
for 2 foot of snow and a postponement.
No. It's not snow, Adrian. I believe it is Storm Bert. Storm Bert is going to hit the shores. No. It's because the temperatures are meant to rise significantly tomorrow. It's going to be warmer here than it is in Toronto, Brian. It's going to be 15 here tomorrow.
Well, bully for you.
Right, Brian. So what we settled for amongst us on the team was Vicario in goal, right? Yep. We got a bit castigated for goals for Italy during the international break. Then we've gone for Destiny Udogu, who started the season with it. Didn't have a pre-season, not an injury, and it's been in poor form. We've gone with Davis because there's no other option there, right? Who's just solid. Dragerson, who's played well for Romania the other day as well, played really well, but it's been inconsistent for us. But in fairness to the player, he's yet to develop like even a 5 or 6 game partnership with VDV, Romero, or even Davis. But it won't be with Davis because Davis will be going at the end of the season. So in fairness to him, but he's been out of form. Porro's also been shocking defensively, but we've picked him. But we went midfield-wise, we've gone with Sarr in good form. Basuma comes back for Bentancur and Decky, right? Gives us probably the most solid midfield we're going to have. And like up front, it's Son, Solanke and Johnson. But I just wondered, I don't know if you have as well, because we're weak on the right, any team that's going to come at us, if you're a wise manager, you attack our right side. Because if you've got Johnson and Porro there, I mean, I'm just wondering if it'd be wiser to put Decky out on the right wing temporarily to give us a bit of solidity in front of Porro there. But having said that, I can caveat that even by saying, well, Man United, they're going to have 70% of the ball. We're going to be pushed back most of the time anyway. Do we need Decky really over there to help Porro out? Because he'll probably he probably won't be exposed because he'd be pushed back most of the time.
Well, the thing you got to remember is that he won't put Decky on the right because it means he needs to put Maddison in, and Maddison will not start a game for Tottenham for the foreseeable. He'll be for the foreseeable. And the one thing we need in this game is Decky doing what he does at the moment, and his hold-up play, his non-stop running. He's someone that when he crosses that line, he's going to give 100%. He's going to run his absolute socks off and give everything for the team. And tomorrow, we desperately need him. Desperately. And you've got to remember, last season, when he plays on the right, I call him Dejan Predictability. I can't stand him on the right. And it came to the point last season or last summer where I was saying I would sell him if it meant the money goes towards Eze, not just get rid of him. If someone said to me, you get rid of Decky and you get Eze in the summer, I'd have said all day, every day. I wouldn't right now. I'd see them both together.
Yeah.
Decky and Madison isn't working. Decky and Eze, bloody hell. It'd be like Elise and
well, I mean, the forward line, Johnson 7 goals, 2 for Wales, 1 assist, doing well. Slanky 6 goals in all competitions. Son 3 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. They're not doing badly at all. The front line, want more from them, but they're not doing badly. They've got vital game contributions, all of them. With Madison, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Ange would, because we're away to Man City, push Decky out on the right just for temporarily, just give us a bit more solidity out there. I don't know. Son and Decky always seem to score a goal against Man City, so they're both going to start, right? I don't know. Ange has thrown curveballs before. I mean, like when Johnson first come, I didn't fancy him. I mean, like he gets his debut away to Arsenal. A debut away to Arsenal. That's brave management, or it's foolhardy management, whichever way you want to look at it. And we should have won that game, right? But and he's done it with youngsters. So, and Ange's capable of throwing a curveball in.
So, mate, I'll tell you the truth. In all honesty, mate, the game I'm really looking forward to seeing tomorrow, I think it's going to be a banger of a game, is Bournemouth-Brighton. Or Brighton-Bournemouth. I don't know who's the home team.
Yeah, Brighton-Bournemouth.
Yeah.
That is going to be a cracking game of football.
Yeah.
Arsenal-Nottingham Forest should be good too.
Who's Nottingham Forest got? The filth.
Arsenal.
Away.
They're going to get done 3-0. Easy for us to get beat.
Morgan Gibbs-White, come on, that's who we should sign in January. Never going to happen in a million.
Yeah, but we've got all these number 8s and 2 10s, and
Morgan Gibbs-White is an incredible player. I think he's underweight.
Yeah.
This is the thing, but our priorities lie, don't they? I mean, we know our priorities lie. You say left back. All right, we've got other centre backs we can bring in, even their kids to cover, like Davis even. You got Davis at the end of the season. So left back, and we're going to have to look for a number 9 if Richarlison goes.
Goalkeeper is imperative to me.
Yeah.
Well, I've already put up the one we've been interested in, but I really like Gunter in the under-21s. If you're good enough, play him. I thought it was absolutely brilliant last season.
He may have been, Adrian, but like I've been saying the whole time during Hugo Lloris's career, the whole time there was not one goalkeeper there to fight for the place.
That's true.
Yeah. If you get injured or you get suspended, we need to arrest you in a cup game. We'll bring in this really lower quality. As good as I believe Gunter is going to be a future Tottenham goal number 1, or at least a very good number 1 if he doesn't make it at Tottenham. It's the same as what we did with Hugo. We need a keeper. Look at Alisson and Kelleher. I would take Kelleher at Liverpool every single day of the week. I think he's exceptional. I think he's absolutely.
I'll post you the video of this guy as well, Brian, as well later, as well as the other videos.
There's
what is it with these continental goalkeepers? So if he's this kid, what I looked at him in videos. He's shot stopping and all that, saving with his legs. Brilliant. Crosses. You know what I mean? What is it with these continental goalkeepers? I think it's because no one. Remember years ago, whenever all teams faced a big number 9 and all that, goalkeepers were a different breed. Then they came for the crosses, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or they came out with their knee raised like Shilton or Jennings or something like that. It's like a dying breed. You don't get that no more. It's the same. That's why now that systems have changed, you get clubs with 2 forwards now instead of 4. Because of the way you play football, you have 2 strikers and 1 sits on the bench. Clubs don't have 4 strikers like they used to have because the systems have changed. We've got the more robotic horseshoe football.
Yeah, that drives me insane when Tottenham do that because
every team does it.
Because they don't progress the ball very far. It just looks good for the possession stats. In possession, don't mean nothing. It's what's up in the top left-hand corner or bottom left, depends what show you watch. That's the most important thing, the bloody score. It don't matter. We can have 70% possession, but if we lose like 2-1, what's the point? I think
my theory on us being casual and slow is the fact that we're not a goal down. And when you start off level pegging with the opposing team, you can be a bit more patient. But Some of it,
Well,
but sometimes I think Romero at times could move the ball a bit more quicker. I'm looking at the overview of the whole pitch when I'm at the ground, and other times he's got no options because there's no movement. So I
to
can't
be
for everything, right?
to be honest, Adrian, we were 2-1
But
down.
until you mix it differently.
We were 2-1 down against Ipswich, and we didn't look very bloody
So
eager then. No, that was just horrendous.
team got booed off at half time and at full time, but I didn't boo. I never boo my team. Never ever.
Well, to be honest, the music got turned up too loud, so they never heard it anyway.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
The music did get turned up.
Oh, yes, they did. I was going to say, oh, yes, they
The
did.
music got turned up, believe me, to epic proportions.
Yeah.
Well, I could hear the booing, and I'm top of the east
Yeah, but
stand.
you were in the
I'm
ground.
right next to the south stand.
You were in the ground. What they do is, Adrian, once there's bad results and Levy knows what's coming, they crank it up.
We never heard it on the TV, put it that way.
In the stadium is one thing, you'll hear the boos because obviously you're there. But I've heard from multiple people that the music at full time was like when they started turning it up when Conte got fired and the Stellini and Mason levels. And yeah.
Yeah.
But remember, the booing and everything, it doesn't affect him because he's got a thick skin. But he turns it up so people can't hear it.
Yeah. We'll put it this way. At the end of the Ipswich game that was on Sky Sports, I believe, I could not hear a single. The music was that loud you couldn't even hear what the crowd was. Well, I guess they were booing, but the music was that loud you certainly couldn't hear it.
Right.
Definitely not.
Mark, what's your prediction for tomorrow's game?
I'll be honest, Adrian, I don't really know because it all depends which Tottenham turn up. Because to me, it screams that we're going to lose. I hate saying it because I never want us to lose anything, but it screams.
Most of the fan base think the same way as you.
Yeah, but it screams. It does. If you just looked at it, Pep signed a new contract. Kevin De Bruyne is back. All the rest of the players they had injured are back. We got injuries now. VDV and Romero, right? It screams, but you never ever know which Tottenham are turning up. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we put it this way, if we got an absolute pummeling tomorrow, like 4-5-1, I wouldn't be surprised. But on the same page, if we won, that wouldn't surprise me either. Honestly, because if we just, it's obvious that as like I said earlier, it's obvious Man City's going to have most of the ball. In the two games that I've seen us, and I really enjoyed the way we played, is when we did drop off a little bit. The Man City game and the Villa game, where we just sat in a little bit because Ange threw me a curveball. I thought he'd blimmin' change. But then the next few games after the City game, he just throws a madness and he sort of threw me a curveball. But if we won tomorrow, that wouldn't surprise me either. So I honestly don't know what to predict. I'll just predict the draw.
Okay.
And that'll be it.
Man, what's your prediction, and how do you think if Mark was correct and we got pummeled 5-1, how do you think the fan base would react to that? Would they expect it anyway or what?
Listen, I joked about with that thing saying it'll be typical Spurs. He will win 2-1 and lose. I'm sorry. I got to this point again, like I did with the final season of Conte. I'm not coming on shows and just going, oh yeah, Spurs are going to win every week because it's great.
Yeah.
City is great. It's Spurs. I ain't doing that anymore. I think we lose. I'm sick and tired of people saying it's a free hit 'cause it's City. No game is a free hit.
Mm-hmm.
No game is a free hit. If we get pummeled, Spurs social media is going to be at civil war. It's going to be chomping at the bit. And the thing is, if it does get a pummeling, I don't know what. It's going to be hard to bounce back. I think if there's a pummeling, the vultures or the sharks will be circling, and they'll be. How can I say? They'll start pecking. They'll start having nibbles. Sharks don't really peck, do they? Nibbles.
No.
I think the sharks will start nibbling, and then put it this way: if it's a pummeling, that Roma game on Thursday, that atmosphere is going to be.
I'll come to that in a minute. To the Roma game, Alan. Predictions?
Yeah, I 2-2. I think we're not going to be able to contain Holland. I think Holland will most likely. Well, who would guard him? Is it going to be Ben Davies?
I think it'd be whoever's nearest.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be designated a one player.
Then I think Holland will probably score twice, but I think we'll cobble together 2 goals. So I'm going 2-2.
Yeah, but he might miss all those chances like he did last season and 3-3 when we should have been about 4-0 down at half time. Like,
Yeah. It's like I said though, this game is so hard to predict because if we got stuffed, would I be surprised? No. If we won, would I be surprised? No. And so who knows? It depends which Tottenham turn up, to be honest. It really does.
I've had, massive gambler. I've had £2 bets because I don't bet. Both for Spurs to win. One with Kulu to score the first goal because he likes scoring a goal like that. And the other bizarre the one bet with Kulu is 66-1. The other bet I've had is 800-1. Right. But they're both
100-1?
Yeah, and I've got no idea what the score will be tomorrow.
No.
800-1, the other bet is for £1.
How's is nice and positive?
Jesus. How's is thrown in the towel.
Yeah. How's is nice and positive?
Yeah.
Has nice to see you're consistent in your predictions for Spurs games, though, mate. Nice to see you, mate.
I think what will be interesting to see at City tomorrow is if it was which I don't think it will be a pummeling. I think we won't win. I think we might lose, or I think we will lose. But I don't think it'll be a pummeling. Like when I say pummeling, they may batter us statistics-wise, but I don't think it's to be a 5, a 6, a 7.
Right, we want a performance, don't we? Even if we lose, we want a performance.
What I'm saying is, if it is a humiliating display, I think it's going to be a battle between the chance for Ange out and Levy out, which might get sung louder. And I know the away fans will thankfully go for the chairman, or a majority will go for the chairman. And if they do, then he's gone. And I don't mean Levy, I mean Andrew's gone.
Okay, we'll move on for that. Okay, I'm going for a win. I mean, like, I haven't got a clue what the result will be tomorrow. It's just like, because there's no consistent with us. So you go
6-0 Tottenham then to counteract Hazard's score.
No. And you want me to tell you what my bet is, don't you?
Well, you can do if you want.
Right. Silly bets, right? I went Sulisevski to score, Spurs to win 4-3, 66-1. No, sorry. Sulisevski to score, and Spurs. What did I have? I've forgotten now. I've forgotten the bet. But the 800-1 bet is Kula to score first and Spurs to win 4-3. That's 800. Wow. So if you
that's 800-1.
That was 800-1. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I mean, I'd have to go back and look. I'm not a betting person. I don't bet money, big money. I'm not a gambler as such. Just on Roma, as Brian mentioned it earlier, this is their form. They've had a few managers since. I think have they got a full-time manager now, or is he caretaker, the one they've got there?
Since Jose.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Remember the name of the manager now. Didn't troll the facts for that. They played 12-1 for it. This is from last weekend. I don't know if they played midweek or in Europe or whatever. I don't know nothing about that.
Well, it's been international break, Adrian, so I doubt
this
it.
would be their league form anyway, so I don't know when their league form is. 1-3, drawn 4, lost 5, points 13, goals 14, have conceded 17. Now, for an Italian side, that all surprises me. In 12 games to concede 17.
Here we go. Ranieri is. Ranieri.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and Dybala masterclass coming up.
1-3.
1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3. 1-3.
Yeah, he's not getting any younger.
Still get a masterclass from him.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could.
Not
I
good.
remember when we were in for him too.
Yes.
Alan, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? We were in
When
for
we're in
a
with these players, I think Brian alluded to it on another show.
them.
When we were in for them, they weren't in. When we're in for them, they weren't in the twilight of their careers. This is the difference. You know, there's no point bringing a 30-year-old in, is there? Unless it's a centre back of like, you know.
Yes, mate. There's every. And this is the bit. I would love us in January to bring in 3 30-year-olds that have been there, seen it, done it,
Yes.
shown these youngsters, and not go, all you youngsters learn off each other. I'd love us to sign 3 30-year-olds that have been there, done it, won it, and said, "This is how."
I'd be in agreement if it was a 30-year goalkeeper and 2 30-year-old centre backs.
Or midfielders, mate. Mate, I keep going on about it. James Milner.
You need pace,
I'll say we should have signed James Milner.
in the Premier League. You get found out if you haven't got pace in your midfield.
Adrian, this is the part you're missing. Forget the pace, forget whatever. I would love a James Milner at Spurs to show these youngsters, I'm going to show you how to get through games. I'm going to show you how to conduct yourself. I'm going to be there to support you. I will be a leader for you. I will be a shadow for you. I will see you through games. I will show you how to conduct yourself on the training pitch. I'll show you how to conduct yourself in your personal life. It's not, mate, we've got a bunch of youngsters that have got no one to show them. It's the youngsters, off you go. Let's play 7 youngsters. You just run around a bit and learn for yourselves with no leaders, because we don't have leaders at Spurs. We have experienced players. Spurs have done this wonderful, and I say that with the height of sarcasm, rebranding. They rebranded leadership. Leadership isn't the word, it's experienced team. We don't have a leadership team. We have an experienced team. I would love us to sign a couple of 30, 31, 32-year-olds that have been there, done that, won medals domestically, internationally, and say, listen, I'm 32, I'm still doing this. This is how I do it. And when times get rough and we need to see games through, I'm going to be here and say, slow down, stop going so gun-ho. We need to ride this danger out and go for it. I would absolutely love it. God said with Kevin Keegan vibes. If we did that and went and bought them, it's what we're missing. It's what we
won't do that.
Yeah.
We won't do that though, because there's no sell-on value. That's what we're interested in now. Bring them in young and sell them on for a profit. That's all. That's all the club's interested in. They're not interested. I was saying it earlier, Brian. You were obviously still at work. The club's not interested in us winning anything. It's all about making money, and it has been for years.
I've only been saying that for 17 years, Mark.
Well, that's slightly longer than me, but I realised that years ago. I realised that when Potts was here.
The next comment from Hotspur is absolutely proof to my mate. We can go through. Look what Scott Parker did for the youngsters coming through.
Yeah.
Look what it's what we need. Look at Brighton. Listen, Brighton are flying because of great managers, great tactics, youngsters, a chairman that backs its manager, that has a correct way of identifying talent, selling them off. They have people like Adam Lallana there last year. Seasoned pros that have been there. James Milner, Danny Welbeck. Welbeck. You may say, he's nothing special, but the experience and knowledge and everything he can pass down from Fergie, from being at the Filth, he's had serious injuries, but now he's playing better than ever. He's obviously looking after him. So look at Brad Friedel and Ryan Giggs that did all the yoga and all that. You need experienced players there to go, right, this is what we need to do. We don't have it. We don't have it. And like Mark said, we won't have it. And the reason we won't have it is because there is no resale value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, we asked the others this. I asked the others this earlier, Mark. I'll get your take on it. Ryan, Spurs appeal the Bentegkamp. Now, the rumours is in the media say, they'll only get one game taken off at best and all this, whatever. But I don't think they would appeal if that was the case to you.
It is the case. It will go down to 6. I'm like, woohoo. Well done. Big difference.
I Why bother the appeal once you know it's 7 just to get down to wire? Why go to that effort? It's a lot of effort to try and get one game. If they found something, if
Do you know the thing that pisses me
the
off?
FA overstepped their mark and their jurisdiction, I mean, is there technicalities in the law or what? I mean, like
If
we don't
there's
come to
something
it.
Spurs should be pissed off about, and should be moaning and waxing, or not waxing it, be going mad at, is we knew from the second this happened that the ban was incoming. They said in September he will be banned, and now they put the ban in at the busiest part of the season.
Yeah.
Well, you can't announce a ban because that would be sub judice and that would be wrong legally anyway to announce a ban before a tribunal was actually sit and given out.
Mate, so it was announced in September that he's going to get banned, and they announced it late November.
Well,
you're telling me for 2 months they sat there.
If the FA thought they're in the right, they've got the jurisdiction. They've obviously been pushed, you know. And what he said was wrong. I'm not defending what he said is wrong. I'm
not talking about the length of the ban. I'm not talking about whether it's the right amount of games or not. I'm saying, why has it taken 2 months from when you announced there's going to be a ban?
Exactly.
They do it right at the busiest part of the season.
We all queried this.
We're all talking about players are playing too much football. There's too many injuries. Look at Rodri, who said it, then did his ACL. So we're all talking about them playing too many games. And then you announce it. So he's out for the busiest period of the season.
Maybe he wanted Christmas off. Just maybe.
He's on 4 yellow cards. He comes back and gets a yellow card. He misses another game.
It's
right.
Ridiculous.
Unless we're past the 19-game mark by then, because like he's got 4 yellow cards. Yeah. So there is that.
Yeah, that his off the field stuff was vile, wasn't it, David?
Yes. No.
To me, 3 or 4 match ban, I would have thought would have sufficed. But
no. I told you earlier, Adrian. I told you earlier. There's 2 tiers on it, and they've decided this is tier 2, which is between 6 and 12 games.
See that, and again, 2 tiers might not be legal.
Adrian, the reason they've done this as well is they want to make an example that
of course. Yeah, we know that.
If there's 3 or 4 game ban, that's one more than getting a straight red card.
It's just just the angst amongst the Spurs fans is the fact that Enzo Fernandez can get off with
listen, it's all
the double standards and hypocrisy. That's what it is, really. It's just got everyone angry. And it is double standards and hypocrisy because FIFA and UEFA, they're corrupt anyway. You have the corruption with Platini, you have the corruption with FIFA awarding the World Cups. And I think they're both institutionally racist anyway.
Because it's not even worth going down that road. Listen, you can go. We can speak about everything. UEFA and FIFA, we all know what they do. We all know that they're corrupt. And listen, I'm annoyed with the kind of reasoning they're giving for Chelsea's Enzo not to get suspended. But it's not happening. Okay, be all and end all. You could say as well, why is it people like Chad Evans and all the people that get done for sexual assault and allegations, they get nothing, but when you're racist you do. So now are we trying to say in football racism isn't acceptable but sexual abuse is? You go round and round. It's Chad Evans, you can say he went into prison and did his time, but does that
one of them he came out he went to a retrial and got off, didn't he? One of them.
He did, and then he started playing football again, like nothing had ever happened.
Who compensates him for his time in prison, loss of wages, and all that? Well, anyway, it's a story, isn't it? You know, so.
Well, that's the thing. That's why when you get into this discussion about was this ban, it puts you in such a vicious cycle.
And
it's
just a racist remark. It wasn't a hate crime. It wasn't hate come from.
I said earlier, Brian. I said earlier that Bentancur was stupid because he basically brought his WhatsApp group chat into the public domain. You know, because if he'd have kept that in the Spurs WhatsApp group, right? Because we've all seen comments in WhatsApp groups. I mean, there's things I've seen in that I wouldn't even dare repeat on like out in the public domain, you know. But like, he was just stupid that he said it to a reporter. You know, if it had been in a WhatsApp group chat, nothing would have been said about it. But he was foolish. he was foolish. And that's I'm not like sticking up for him because racism is wrong, but like he's just foolish.
Right, okay. Look, guys, we've been going 2.5 hours. I know Brian come on a bit late. That's why I went over some of the stuff again to give him a chance to get his opinions on all aspects of what we discussed here. I want to thank my guests. They know who they are. I want to thank everyone in the chat. Like I say, if you like our shows, please give the videos a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And this time I'll let Brian finish what he normally says. What's cut him off before.
Well done. I was blown away
Yes.
by that.
I have had words with Adrian. I told him he was on 2 strikes.
The most important thing is everyone have a great weekend, whatever you're
Yeah.
doing. As I'm adding to it, soys. Shine on, you Spurs, shine on. Oh, when the Spurs go shining in. And as always, Levy out.
Alan?
Well, look, I'm hoping for a good result tomorrow. I still think they can do something. We beat them already once. Yes, Holland wasn't on the team. I just don't think this is as strong a Man City side as it has been in the past. I think missing Rodri is like missing their heart and soul. So I'm a little hopeful, but yeah, just hoping for a good game of football.
Mark?
Get off my land.
Right, as usual for me, to dare is to do. Come on, you Spurs. I'm going to play you out with this, and I'll see you guys in the back room.
Spurs